Let's see what we got going on. Alright, hello and warm winds. Welcome to Chaotic Calling Streaming. I'm the DM, Starwind, and I'm about to take some adventures through the kingdom of Citadel Kingdom. Hey! Not in Timor anymore. What's up with that? Will they make their way back to Timor? Who knows? We have Leo, the half-orc paladin of Illumina.
Hey guys.
We have Borden, the dwarven life domain cleric of Kazia.
Hello.
We have Zareth, the half-elf rogue assassin.
Evening lights.
Apollo, the half-elf lore bard.
Hey guys, what's up?
And Oscar, who is kind of pivotal to this situation, is running late or something. I don't know yet, but hopefully he'll be able to catch up with us here shortly. So we also, last we left our adventurers, our party got somewhat divided as they entered a portal that would lead them out of the crazy dungeon that they were in. After getting their bearing, Leo, Oscar, Zareth, Lindsay, and the fox managed to jump into the portal and appear on a snowy hill. From there, they spot a village not far down the hill to the east. Borden and Apollo were nowhere to be found, and they made their way to civilization in hope to get warmer clothes and a room and board for the night. After approaching the gate, the village guards, let me back up. After approaching the gate to the village, guards could be seen posted at the entranceway. After asking where they landed, the party soon found out they were on the other side of the world. They were in Citadel Kingdom. The day started off peacefully enough as they took care of selling supplies, buying necessities. They met the old grizzled bounty hunter at the general shop and managed to find fur cloaks for themselves in order to keep warm. They secured rooms, supplies gathered, and surplus sold off. The party started to get comfy at the inn. There they met an old crone who ran the inn and a spirited half-orc barmaid who went around serving everyone. There, Oscar went to a room to try to identify a few items. Meanwhile, Lindsay started to perform for the crowd in the common room. It was then that the guards burst in, interrupted by her session as they tried to ascertain where the magic was coming from. Guards start to get suspicious at the mute girl and ask to take her violin. She begins to freak out. Zareth and Oscar assist in talking to the guards. Leo tries to throw the guards off by accusing the innkeeper as a spellcaster, if only to get the heat off Lindsay. It kind of happened a little bit different than that, but yeah, there was like some time between his identifying and then he went down there to join your group. But let's see here. Continuing on. This is long-winded, by the way. Meanwhile, a group was gathering at Indian. Wait, did I miss that? Okay, Lindsay, with Oscar's knowledge, tries to relay that she can simply use her abilities and the Ironforge emblem would appear on the violin and hopefully coax the guards away from her. A demonstration and persuasion was done, and the guards agreed and backed down from threatening them further. Bullet dodged? Question mark? Oscar finally takes time to go to his room to work on his ritual book as he inscribes the spell Tiny Hut. Zareth spends time trying to learn signs to use with Lindsay. Leo goes to make a deal with the general shop old man to pay for supplies for his friends if they ever come in, leaving 40 gold for anything they might need. Also suggests that to get back home they might need to head to Miscus, a port city north of the Apra Mountains where they were, and off to the east from there. Meanwhile, a group was gathering in the inn, and Zareth managed to eavesdrop information that might be useful to the group to establish that they were trying to form a trade caravan before winter fully hits, which leads to Miscus. Upon returning and sharing info, Leo informs Zareth they need to get to the place known as Miscus, and boy, how coinkadink. This group is talking about heading there, so Zareth mentions that back. Next line of action was to see about getting in on the group to go with them. Zareth goes to meet with them as Leo informs Oscar it's not a good idea to stay here. Zareth shortly joins with Oscar and Leo and Lindsay in tow. They talk about leaving town for now. Zareth offers to head out and check the gate. Comes back, finds that it's guarded, but it was wide open. After he returns, he goes to talk to the caravan group after some suggestion as the group approaches. and they say they should leave sooner. However, they express they can't leave any sooner due to setup mostly. Frederick, another human, approaches Zareth and the rest of the group as they chimed in. He offers to have a private conversation with you. There, he informed you the reasons why things had to be delayed, as they were waiting for mages who were being smuggled in to be taken away from Citadel Kingdom. So apparently it was like a smuggling operation to get people safely out of the kingdom before they got killed for use of magic. Things seemed to be cleared up between the group with the old crone, as Frederick seemed to think that it was all just a misunderstanding. Things seemed to be smoothly planned, till there was a talk about a black market for magic items. With some persuading, they're led to a shed behind the inn and find a trapdoor leading to where the old crone is hiding in a hovel of a place. She has some minor items, very small selection. She didn't really have too much of what you were kind of hoping for, other than like maybe a javelin of lightning that was hanging around. Unknown, let's see here. She kind of got in Oscar's face and calls him out for being a magic user, and unknown to Oscar that he instinctively used prestidigitation to kind of pull some trickery and make some kind of scent around him, and consequences of that action were soon to be had. There was an offer on the lightning javelin for 700 gold, and Leo was asking for a discount. She grew disgusted and raised the price. The two shared a very spiteful fuck off, and he states that he was just statement to each other. Leo then makes his way out. Leo notices the guards sniffing around the area, and he states that he was just returning from the odd house and heading back into the inn. Shortly after he made his way up the alley, Oscar made his way out of the shed. Tension hits as the guards attempt to take him into question, who might be suspicious of using magic. As shackles start to be smacked on his wrist, he casts a bright prestidigitation spell to create light in the area and twinned it with invisibility, and got himself out of that situation. With that, he blinds the guards mostly and makes his way through the snowy roads, leaving footprints. He passes a couple of guards and they catch up to his footprints and start to track him, leading them out of town and continue to follow the tracks. Zareth starts to stalk the guards, hoping to figure out where Oscar was. Therefore, leaving Lindsay to go talk to Leo, if she can only talk. As the guards follow Oscar and tracks towards some danger of a couple of direwolves, Zareth takes a shot at one of the guards as they're distracted taking care of the direwolves. Hitting one, they turn their attention to where Zareth was, and made a mental note that there's an archer who may be aiding this magic user. Highly likely they suspect the foreigners. Oscar manages to get away from the situation by backtracking, dashing a bit west from the gate and making his way towards the woods and finding a safe tree to start casting a ritual of tiny hut. Zareth does his best to stealth and patrol the guards as they continue tracking. Covering tracks earlier, Oscar hopes to finish his tiny hut, and as he finished the spell, Apollo and Borden enter into his view, and tiny hut launches up and protects the three of them. And that's where we left off last time. But since we're still kind of waiting for Oscar to rejoin us, we're going to figure out what happened to Apollo and Borden. So, from the point where you guys saw everybody jump into the portal in the dungeon, you guys were kind of like maybe having a conversation and trying to figure out if this was safe. And you know, Leo being headstrong and people just going with him because he's the tank, and you guys are like questioning it. You kind of got delayed by maybe a few seconds, but that few seconds was all it took for that minute hand to just to the next angle on that teleport, and you find yourself 25 miles or so northwest of Heritage. It is cold, it is icy, and two of you are the only two that managed to come through at this point. Wasn't planning to do a little role-playing at this point, however, we can spend a little time on it if you like. As I go and tell Oscar to get his butt on.
He said something on Discord that he would be on 5, so he's on his way probably.
Okay. Yeah, I'm in streamer mode, so I don't hear Discord. Alright, so we'll go ahead and spend a little time on YouTube. Cold. It is very cold. It's about a foot of snow. Not too, unmanageable, but it's still enough to be an agitation.
So we've just jumped through a portal, no idea where we landed.
Correct.
I think a proper response would be, well, shit.
Huh.
It is very cold. It's like below zero nearly at this point, even though it's like almost high noon.
Is it still actively snowing, or is there just snow on the ground?
It's just snow on the ground for now. It looked like it was just freshly layered that morning, but it kind of dissipated a little bit during the afternoon. You're, like I said, coming in at about noon at this point in this location.
Alright, I'd like to look around. Do I see any smoke from a chimney? Any indication of anything nearby?
Make me a perception check. I'll either make it with advantage with Apollo helping, or you can make them individually. However you guys want to dish it out.
I'll have Borden out.
Alright, so advantage. Go ahead. Yeah, wow, it's like you want me to tell this story. I like that.
I was hoping you'd just give me the smokestack or something, but...
No, I wanted it to be a challenge because there might have been, you might have had to track through for a little bit. You never know. But yeah, off in the distance, you see a small chimney, barely breaching like these clearing of trees, letting out chimney smoke as you kind of pick out maybe like a raggedy old trade house or some kind of hunter's lodge, or maybe just someone's dwelling that's out here in the middle of nowhere.
Do you see anything out of Borden? I can't seem to find anything particular out here.
Yeah, I see looks like a cabin of sorts over there. Even if it's not inhabited, it'll get us out of the elements.
With that perception roll, you'll also hear, like in the very distance, like a howling of dire wolves. But it doesn't seem like it's very close to be a threat. But you're aware of it.
Duly noted.
Alright, well, I'd say we get to wherever this hut is, because, yeah, I'm getting a little chilly out here.
Yeah, it is. Bit cold.
Alright, so you guys trek your way to this...
Travel it.
Yep, you find this cabin. And, there's, like, tanning racks outside, laced with, like, fresh direwolf pelts. Fire inside might be currently lit, since there is rising smoke coming out of the stack. There's, like, a big bit of firewood stacked up against the wall next to the front door as well. As you approach, you can kind of make out all that information. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna reach up and knock at the door.
You knock on the door, and this old grizzled human comes out after unlatching a few latches on the inside. Visitors? Who's there? As he's still working on a latch as he's calling through the door.
My name is Borden. I have a traveling companion. We've been separated from our lot. There was a magic portal of some kind. Just chucked us out here in the woods.
Hold on. And he opens the door. You see this human. He's kind of an elderly man, kind of gray beard flowing around his cheek. Gray hair's kind of a little disheveled. He doesn't look like he's seen civilization in a while. He looks at the two of you. He's like, yeah, come on in. Let me see if I can help you boys out. Yes, you definitely don't look like you're dressed for this weather. You said you came through some magical portal?
Yeah, we were in Timor. Pray tell, are we still there?
Timor? That's like on the other side of the world, kid. No, you're currently hanging hanging your hats over here in Citadel Kingdom. Here, come on in. It's cold out there. The weather's a little bit different than it is over there, I'm sure, judging by the way you're dressed.
Appreciate it.
Yep, and he lets you in. You feel the cozy warmth of this cabin taking you over. And with that, he kind of just says, "Huh, so, looks like you might need supplies, and I might need some help, since you might be a godsend, who knows?"
I do follow Kazuya.
Very well, and he kind of...
Might be closer than you think.
And he's kind of stretching his hands and just kind of loosening them up, and definitely feels like he's got some age in his hands, but he doesn't make too much note, but it's just something you kind of pick up on. And he kind of turns to you two and says, "Well, first you need supplies. How do you plan on finding your other friends? You said there were others, right?"
Yeah, they
there's,
went through.
3 others.
Oh, go
Let
ahead,
you go
Apollo.
Oh, yeah, there's at least 3 others, that are part of our main group, but
Yes.
a few more stragglers.
I'll tell you what. You guys can warm up for right now. I'll make you guys something to eat. But it is hunting season for direwolves. I'm not sure if you heard the noise out there, but there's a few wandering around. My hands aren't what they used to be, but if you can help me out on a hunt, I'll be able to maybe get you some supplies so you can make your way to wherever you need to go. I might suggest that you head to Heritage. Maybe your friends wound up there. It's like the closest city in the region.
Say, what direction would that be in?
Oh, it's down southeast of here. We're kind of up on an inclined hill and almost leads right into the mountains. We're just on the edge of the forest and the mountain range, and this is just where I love to hunt. But, tell you what, boys, why don't we get packing and we'll go look for some wolves? And he starts to hand you guys, like, the necessities of cloaks. You basically get, like, a direwolf cloak, direwolf boots, and direwolf gloves to kind of cover yourself and stay warm with. This should suffice till you get to town. Perhaps you can buy something better there. But yeah, let me make something to eat, warm you all up, and then we'll go out and hunt. So you guys will spend a little bit of time as he prepares like a hearty stew, and then he passes out bowls and says, "It's been a while since I had company like this."
So you've been incredibly kind thus far.
Well, not everybody in this kingdom's rotten to the core. Oh, there's still debate on how many actually are. Seems like it's better just to stay out on your own, you know what I mean? Just don't deal with it.
Also, that was a real quick question. We come from Timor and all that, but is there anything too different between the 2 continents?
Well, if you must know, there's the Ironforge clergy. And they just don't like that arcane magic. And when you said you came here by magic, I was like, oh, great. But, I couldn't just let innocent people freeze to death. So damn the Ironforge clergy. That's how I put it.
You need not fear me gaining their ire.
Oh, don't worry. They're not going to come out here, I don't think. Usually, though, I will give you a warning. Like, I'm not sure if any of you use arcane powers of magic, but if you do, be careful inside towns. They seem to have these defense systems that can hone in where magic is originating from, and then they just try to figure out where it's at, and then they'll... even if you're not guilty, they might hang you anyway, or put you to the fire, It's just Ironforge's way. Blah, blah. He's kind of disgusted at all the Ironforge talk that we're having, but he's, happy to express his angst against the organization.
Is Ironforge corrupt in any way? Do people have problems with the clergy over there?
Okay, you're asking him?
Yes.
Ironforge himself probably isn't corrupt, but the people who worship him here may have been corrupted through several lines of unfortunate events. So the clergy and the mages may have at one time been best chums, you know? But at the same time there, let me take care of that real quick. At the same time, you know, this whole series of events that kind of made him, you know, a bit distasted from the arcane powers. I don't know what the fallout was, but before long, this whole nation has just been one big witch hunt. If you use arcane powers, you are doomed to face the fire of Ironforge by burning at the stake. Lost a lot of good people like that, but rules are rules, am I right? He kind of rolls his eyes as he says that to you.
Well, that's unfortunate for the people who had to suffer.
Oscar, are you here with us now?
Yes.
Alright, cool. We were just going to go ahead and get into this a little bit. And he's like, well, now that we all have had something to eat, let's go hunting. Let's get our minds off this sour subject, and you kind of repay me for my kindness if you don't mind. I can use the help. And just to kind of lapse anything, if there's anything you guys want to talk to while on this hunt, we can go ahead and do that. But we're going to pretty much make straight survival checks to see how well the hunt went instead of actually taking the time to do combat, because we want to get to the real meat of the action. So is there anything you guys want to talk about while out in the wilderness hunting down these direwolves?
I'd just be digesting everything so far. This could
I
have
don't have
gone
anything
better.
in particular.
Alright, nothing in particular. What did you say there, Borden?
Born's just gonna be digesting all of this information, you know, taking what he knows from the party members not present, and the political climate, as it were.
Alright,
Just
yeah.
you know,
Yeah, taking mental notes of the situation here. So yeah, you kind of maybe have a
Borden.
little... Oh, go ahead.
Borden, we haven't, taken some time for ourselves lately. Like, don't you think we kind of need to stay down for a bit? Not saying we need a hideout, but we kind of need to rest up, maybe, because I'm sure you're not,
I've still got
well.
something left in me.
Yeah, right now I'm kind of burnt out on most of my stuff, so.
Might be for the best. They don't much like casters around here anyway.
Now, I'm sure you probably need a longer time to sleep than I do. Well, I just need to sit down and meditate for 3-4 hours, so. If you want, we can, at some point, if you want to rest up, you can definitely do that, but let's try and get all this stuff done so we can find the others.
Alright, so whoever wishes to make it, with advantage, since all three of you are kind of helping each other, I need one person to make a survival check for me.
You want me to run that too?
How's your survival looking there, Apollo?
That's a 1.
Yeah, I will definitely run that survival
Alright,
check then.
Go right ahead then. Yeah, that's pretty good. So you find a small pack of direwolves, and the three of you kind of space out, give each other room. He uses a composite longbow, and he takes one out pretty quickly as he pelts it with about 3 or 4 arrows, and then finally takes it down. You guys jump in there and do your thing with Borden at the front of the line, and Apollo backing him up from the back line, making sure he stays up there to do his work and try to keep everything off him. It was just a back and forth battle, back and forth, and then eventually you managed to slay 3 direwolves. The pelts that you got off them after bleeding them out and getting the meat and the carcass taken care of, it went pretty well. The old man was quite impressed with you two as you helped him on this hunt. So he walks away with about three large portions of direwolf pelts, enough rations to kind of get a good meal out of it for a while. So he's kind of fed for that, and you guys return to the cabin. It's about 2 or 3 in the afternoon at this point. And he's just basically going through like after hunt activities with you at this point. So, did you want to take a long rest, or what am I hearing here?
I mean, timing-wise, how you had us scripted to arrive, is there time for a rest?
Let me see here. So, I would say that to make the hour trek, or it'd probably take maybe an hour or two to go. Might not be.
Because I don't want to.
Well, it put you
that's why I
right.
shied away.
Yeah,
from
yeah.
rest.
You guys would be good for a short rest, definitely. But yeah, long rest you might want to wait. He'll advise you that now that you guys got supplies and everything, you might want to go ahead and try to make your way to Heritage just to get at the inn. He doesn't have any bedding or anything for you guys to stay there, so he just kind of suggests, why don't you guys head on out? And he'll advise you also that there's an old friend of mine who runs a general shop down there. His name is Frederick. If you see him, just tell him old Sebastian said hi. And he'll leave you on that note. So if there's anything you guys want to talk about while traveling, like maybe if there's some kind of ideals you want to...
Before departure, I will shake his hand to fulfill my touch component for that.
Gotcha, yeah.
His arthritis.
Yeah, so that...
Hopefully he won't notice because it's cold yet.
Yeah, you kind of do that under the guise of a handshake, and he's like, he doesn't feel it. He doesn't notice you doing it. And you guys are free to make your way to Heritage. So you spend the better half of that evening making your trek about 25 miles southeast. You get about, I don't know, it's about maybe 500 feet away, and you kind of notice some movement near the north gate. You see a couple guards, but they don't see you. They're still, because you're pretty much on a high rise coming down still, and they're coming from a different direction, looking totally different from where you guys are in a way. But below this hill that you just came over, you see Oscar with his ritual book open, and he's just muttering stuff as he's trying to read something off real quick. And you guys start to approach, and as soon as you approach, you get to say one thing, and then right as soon as you finish saying it, this tiny hut pops up over you, the three of you. And that's where we'll pick up on that right now. Oscar, you just saw Apollo and Borden appear as soon as you finished your tiny hut.
Where did you guys come from?
We got sent away quite a distance from here. I mean, we just came back from helping a guy hunt some wolves, so, I mean, we've been out here for a good bit. I'm not sure what you guys have been up to, but looks like, are you guys in a little bit of a predicament?
Yes, just keep your horses down.
Sarah, you were apparently in a tree last time, and these two guards are kind of walking in a general direction, just trying to find some sign. They haven't found anything yet, so they're kind of scattering away from each other. One heading north, one just looking up against the gate wall.
I'm going to take my scarf and cover my face with it.
Done?
And I'm going to stay in that tree for now.
Okay.
Because
Leo.
I did remove my tracks.
Yeah, that's why they're not sure if anybody's going anywhere, so they're just kind of spread out looking. Leo, you and Lindsay were trying to make your way outside the gate to look for your elusive friends.
Yeah, we got up to the gates and there was some footprints heading west, and we started to follow them.
And then they disappeared. And then you noticed the guards kind of wandering north and kind of up against the gate, just trying to find any hint of a trail now. They gotta be around here somewhere. The tracks in it back there, they must have started covering them or something.
How far away are the guards?
I'll give you about 60 feet away. You can hear
Had
them
they
mutter.
noticed us?
At the moment, they seem enraptured with the search of any clue of where these two might be. So
Alright, well, I'll just continue following the direction that the tracks lead.
the tracks lead right to where they're looking. I mean, then the tracks stop. There's nothing left. Like, they started covering their tracks at that point, so therefore there's no sign of them, which means the guards are kind of looking for a new sign. You approach where the tracks end, because the guards are kind of separated from that as they're trying to look for any new clues to find a trail, which they do not succeed at this moment. At this time here, though, they do kind of notice you wandering into what they're doing. It's like, hey, have you seen have you seen a couple of I don't know what we're looking for. Some magic user and someone who uses a bow.
I haven't seen them. I came out here looking for my dwarf friend and his skinny friend that plays a flute.
I see. Well, we're looking for someone who just started casting magic out of the blue. So be on the lookout for a mage. And they're suspicious to actually why you are out here, but at the same time they got their own problems. Let's see here. There's just no sign of them. Do we just go back and report that they got away? Well, I'm sure we'll be on high alert tonight, so let's go ahead and get this over with. And they start heading back to the town at this point. Zareth, it is getting a little bit chilly in that tree, even though you have all this warmth. But back down in the tiny hut with Oscar, Borden, and Apollo, it's pretty warm. Comfortable, even.
How far are the guards away from me at the moment?
They're walking back to town. They could be as far as you want them to be.
Okay, I'm carefully going to make. I'm going to give my surroundings a check in case I've missed any guards, just to be
Go
sure.
ahead and make a perception check. You do not see any guards in the nearby vicinity, and the ones that were chasing you have currently retreated back to the front gate of the north and are heading back to town. They are a good 120, maybe 300 feet away, somewhere within that range from however far you got away from the north gate.
Anything else in the surroundings that catch my eye?
Well, what is your eye looking out for? I mean, it's just a bunch of sparse trees.
Maybe a house or some kind of hill that I can use to make a snow hole in.
Well, the hills kind of go up from where you are. Like, if you were to continue northwest, you would find definitely a hillier plain to actually climb up and get more altitude as it kind of leads up to the actual mountains.
Sure, let's do that then.
Alright, so with you trying to find some way to kind of get away from the town and hide yourself away, you kind of start marching northwest. So with that, let's see here. Oscar, Borden, and Apollo, you guys are in this tiny hut. What's the conversation?
Alright.
I would-
Oscar.
Oh, real quick, I would just say that you did hear these guards' voice, and they did kind of walk away. So you did hear them say, "Well, I can't find them. You know, we're heading back." To that effect. So you're aware of guards.
Okay. Oscar, is there something that is going on? Do you need to tell us anything? Because I know Borden and I, we literally just got here, but I mean, it seems like there's some kind of trouble already, going on. So
It seems like you've been busy.
Yes, they're not fond of magic, and they realize what I am.
Did they see your face?
Not particularly. I was wrapped up when they saw me.
you're gonna have to turn into like a nomad now. Have all your face covered up, everything covered up about you, or
No, but he does make a point.
Alright,
I
well,
did give you
also,
gloves
where...
last week to cover your hands.
Yeah.
Wait, is there anything near the bubble? Or the hut?
Nope, Zero's nowhere near you.
Okay. Okay. Okay, well, seeing that we already have some, just stirring up, where's the others? Are they taken for prisoner, or, what's going on?
Well, as far as I know, they're still back in town, safe. None of them are
Are they
magic
just looking
users.
for you?
Yes.
Okay, Leo and Lindsay and the Fox. Is there anything you guys want to do?
We're looking for my party members, my
Okay.
posse.
We are looking. How are we looking? Like, are we just looking at the ground hoping tracks appear? Are we shouting? I mean, what's the ideal?
We're walking around. Since the tracks end and lead nowhere, we're continuing down where the tracks are pointing. We're continuing in that direction, scanning the surrounding areas for anything that looks unusual, shouting for Borden and Apollo.
Alright, I'll need Borden, Apollo, and Oscar to make perception checks. Let me get an investigation from, or perception. Go ahead and make a perception check as well, Leo, and I'll see if this goes back and forth a bit here. Apollo, you make out the sound of Leo's voice calling out to you, so do you, Borden. Oscar's still kind of freaking out, so he's not paying much mind to it. Zarek, you went up into the hills. So, you know what? There's a odd white-shaped dome of possible snow that's oddly perfectly shaped at the bottom of one of these trees that you're coming up to. Leo, you definitely see it from the south. As you get a height advantage there, if you can kind of gaze down and catch a glimpse of it briefly, but you're not sure what it is.
We can actually see out, the three of
You
us,
guys
right?
can, yeah.
Yeah.
You two can actually leave the hut, but Oscar cannot move, or else it will be dispelled, or he cannot leave it.
I was just wondering if we would have seen anyone walking up yet as well.
You can make out with the perception check. You can, you hear Leo, you hear him calling out to you guys. Unless no sound travels through it. Can you pop up Tiny Hut for me real quick, Oscar? I think you guys can hear, but I don't know if it
I
has
believe you can see hear everything from the inside going out, but if you're trying to make sound going, out of the hut, nobody can hear it.
Right.
I would like to get one of my ball bearings and cast light on it, and I want to pop it in and out the edge of the hut, so it sort of makes like a flash,
Alright, so you see a bit of light piercing in and out of this dome. So it's kind of like a blinking light, I guess you would say. Leo, you catch a glimpse. Both of you catch the glimpse from different directions of a blinking light leading to this dome-shaped lump of snow that is just perfectly shaped in a dome.
I go stealth and investigate, and while I do that, I'm going to remove my tracks.
Alright, so you're carefully moving forward, trying to stay low to the ground and removing your tracks as you do so. Leo, what are you doing?
I'm gonna confer with Lindsay and ask her if we should check out the blinking light.
I'll have her make an Arcana check to see if she knows if any of this is safe or not. Let me find good old Lindsay's character sheet. And this will determine whether or not she thinks the blinking light's safe or not. And she has a really good Arcana check, so let's see what she gets. She shakes her head yes to you and kind of points you in that direction. And she seems eager to go that way.
We'll go check it out.
Alright, so within like maybe a minute or two, you see Leo approaching as you continue poking the light in and out of the dome. You can see him, however, he cannot enter this hut.
Oh yeah, if you're not in the cast when it starts, you can't get in. Can
That
you?
is correct. And yes, Imberg, that is correct. Yep. So, yeah, you're basically looking at this dome and this light that's piercing in and out. You still could talk to it, though.
Say if I can see them and people inside can freely move around, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, people
Yeah.
inside the dome besides Oscar can actually leave it and come back in.
Still, I can. Well, hell, I could just poke my head out of what looks like a igloo, just straight through it.
Yeah, you can poke your head out and you can see Leo there and you can actually talk to him. I mean, have a conversation, guys. Don't let me run the campaign. You can do this.
Well, it looks like we're just missing one then.
Ready, hell, what is that thing?
Oscar magicked it up.
More magic? It's not safe here for arcanes. I grew up in this area, and it's just...
Sarah, at about this time, you can hear Leo and Borden having their conversation, and you make your way down, and you're able to rejoin your group. But you cannot go
Evening,
into the...
guys.
Yep. You pop out of the shadows.
Roden, what is your head sticking out of?
There's some dome Oscar magicked up. But just explain this.
Well, I couldn't hear that. I couldn't hear that from far off. So, can we enter?
I don't know.
Give me a moment.
What was that?
Hold on, let me pop back in. I've got to get some levity in here. What was that?
I said not yet, but give me a moment.
Okay.
I can recast this, and you can just destroy this when I say so.
Don't put me. He says give him a minute.
No.
Going
Okay.
to, in the safety of my last hut, I'm going to start making a new hut.
Alright.
Start another ritual test.
Alright. That is a question. Can you cast another tiny hut inside a tiny hut?
I don't think he
think the
can
previous
cast it
one-
inside.
Yeah, I think you're gonna have
At
to
least
find
in
a
the
new
dead
lo-
center. I think he can go to the edge of it though and have two
Yeah, I think you're-
overlapping huts.
Possibly, yeah. Because that one's gonna be there, and then they still can't enter because they got to be able to get in. You know.
So basically, the three of us have our own room, and you have to sit in like the edge portion where it overlaps, like this Venn diagram deal, and then the others will have their own room that Apollo and I can freely enter.
Absolutely. So it's however you want to do it, or you could. I'm not gonna make any suggestions.
I'm gonna
You-
go with that idea.
You guys figure it out.
This is a little
Ross, hang on.
convoluted.
Hey,
I
Roden,
was thinking
give me
of
your
just
hand.
destroying the last.
I don't think you
But
can.
where's the
destroy
fun
it.
in that?
You can't destroy it unless you dispel magic.
I know. Well, I can use it on the edge and then just walk to the opposite edge of the one that I just made, and I won't be out of that one.
But why would you break one if we already have one? There's more room.
Okay, I'll keep it like this.
Let's just stick with the Venn diagram.
I want to
More
sleep
magic
separate from
is not
Zareth
good.
and his. Well, it's got to be more magic one way or the other if you want in something.
Do you want all the
Well-
guards to come after us and try to kill us for using the arcane? Because that's what will happen here.
It didn't seem to mind the first one.
And wasn't it in towns that we were told?
You don't know that.
Yes, we were
Yes.
told by the guy in the inn, and I
He-
forgot his name.
He's just being cautious.
Hey, Star. I would like to go outside of the hut real quick. Can I look at it and get an idea of how obvious this looks different from the rest of the terrain?
Like, how are you asking me? Like, from where you're from,
So
or from where you came?
So, I want to walk out from it,
Uh-huh.
and I want to go about 30, 60 feet from it,
Uh-huh.
and see how different it is from the regular terrain around it. You know, is it very obvious that this is something that got conjured up, or does it sort of look like it is part of the terrain?
Well, it is getting late at night, so just popping your head out and taking a surveillance to see if it's like camouflaged.
It's
You
white
think-
on white.
Yeah, it's. But if anybody was to come out with a torch or a light source like you have and see a perfectly circle white instead of like the patchy laid out white, it would definitely raise suspicion. The gate to the city is like maybe 100 feet to the south of where you guys are currently at, so you're still kind of close to Heritage.
Okay. I'll just walk back in. I'll keep the little ball bearing with the light just in the center of our hut.
Alright, so yeah, it's kind of illuminated inside. I think Razor or Oscar could actually make light inside with the inner walls, if I'm not mistaken. Dimly lit or
Yes,
dark. Yep.
I can build that light. Yes.
But yeah, so you're all gathered outside his hut or inside his hut. You're free to have this conversation. What's Dancing Light's going to do now that they have finally rejoined?
If when Apollo tries to walk back through back into the tiny hut, I'm going to grab his hand and try to follow him.
As soon as he gets inside, your hand is forced off of his, and you are left outside the hut.
Well, that didn't work.
Bob my head back outside. Sorry, cool kids only.
I rather like this no Zareth in my sleeping space.
Oh
Mr.
man.
Sticky Fingers.
Oh. All right. Let's not have today to be pick on Zareth Day. It's supposed to be pick on Oscar.
Oh no, that's
Okay.
gonna be later when we have to get back to the town.
Yeah. So
So, I am going to go to the opposite edge of the hut, opposite from the town,
okay, kind of towards
Here
the
to get-
north side of the hut.
by a few feet, and I'm going to start the ritual cast for another tiny hut
All right.
because I personally think that we're too far away for their sensors to pick it up.
All right. So as you're fixing to cast this ritual, you might want to tell them to move within the 10-foot radius of where you're about to cast it.
Everyone outside, come over here.
For the sake of not listening to that, I will relay messages.
All right. So Borden comes out there.
Everyone outside, come over here.
Yeah, I think we're all gonna walk into this one.
Yep. So everybody walks over into this space within 10 feet of the edge of where Oscar is. Oscar, you can actually make it to where they can see you inside for the moment if you wanted to, if I believe.
Well, it's also covered with snow. It's not
Well,
just
it's
the hut.
not. Yeah, it's not all snow. It's just that I would imagine you were trying to blend in, making it white on the outside
Yeah.
at first, and then you can adjust it. I'm just throwing out suggestions. But don't let me play the game for you. Let's see what you want to do here. So you got everybody within 10 feet of you inside this radius north of the hut, and you spend a minute casting the ritual, and then a second hut appears, and the rest of you who were outside of the hut now have this warm, cozy little atmospheric area to kind of take a moment and have a little respite.
Well, in 2 days, there's a caravan heading north to the port city that we could potentially work for to make some money along the way, as well as get out of here. And I personally think we got to get out of here pretty quickly because it's currently a manhunt for Oscar.
We won't be paid for it with money, but we will get in a good word at the port for a place at the ship that leaves. That was the deal we got.
Well, I can get us a ship. I've done this before. I grew up here. I left for a reason. I'm not a fan of these Ironforge guys, but they're in charge here.
Any more conversation the rest of you want to talk about? I mean, this is your hour.
So, what happened in the town then, and why did you leave?
Why did I leave the town? Because Lindsay wanted to find the rest of you.
And she shakes her head as she's sitting in there comfortably with you guys.
I signed thank you to her.
And she signs it back, or she says welcome. Or you assume is you're welcome.
Hey, Star. I was just wondering that since I only need 4 hours of
Technically, you're a
rest.
half-elf. You're not a full elf.
Yeah, but I still get the trance from the
I don't
half-elf.
think so.
Not half-elves. Your human nature keeps you from getting trance. As far as I've been reading on half-elves, none of them get trance. You have to be a full-blooded elf to get that. Drows get it, elves get it, high elves get it, but not half-elf. But you guys are in a comfortable space. You might not even have to worry about like that during the long rush. You have 8 hours of these bubbles.
Well, a guard would still be nice in case someone wanders up.
Well, Dancing Lights, you're free to make plans by all means. Please go ahead and talk it over and figure out what you want to do for tonight.
Well, I for one am trapped here, and I can't move. And
I'll grab the first.
so I'm going to go ahead and just go to bed.
Sure thing, I'll take second.
Before you head to bed, just to flavor this up a little bit, Lindsay kind of points to her ears and then points to the shield itself and points outside. If anybody wants to make an intelligence check, I'll let you know what she's actually trying to transfer or, say without having to write it down.
Don't try.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna use a luck point on that.
Oh, well, alright. If I could burn them, go for it.
Wish you were a halfling now, don't you?
Alright,
I
so...
think it would make that's sort of different.
Alright, so... Yeah, Zara, you've been spending time learning her sign language, but Borden's been spending more time protecting her and understanding her body language. And Apollo, with a little bit of luck, you kind of get the idea that she was wanting to play her violin and was just checking to see if sound can travel out.
Well, I couldn't hear the guys inside talking from a distance, but try to keep it low.
No, she kind of shakes her head and hugs her violin and then just kind of makes herself comfortable getting ready for the long rest.
So we're just gonna go to sleep. We're not gonna talk about what we're planning to do.
We'll go ahead and have this conversation. I told you guys to talk about it.
I was trying to, and everyone else was staying quiet,
Well-
and that was all in character.
Yeah, well, I was just saying that's what was happening on Lindsay's part. You guys are still able to have this conversation, though. By all means, go right ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
So as far as I'm aware, it's been a long day for everyone, and if I go in the first bubble, I can't hear anything going on in the second bubble if I stop, hanging out in the middle space. Right?
Sorry, what was that?
So if I go into the first bubble, not included under the radius of the
Okay.
second bubble, I can't hear anything they say, right?
Well, that's the one thing we haven't quite figured out. Like, according to Oscar, it's muffled.
Or that was like me shouting in it.
Yeah. Because I don't see
So-
anything in the spell description saying that sound could travel in or out.
I don't either, but it's opaque from the outside, so I would assume that it's got some, it'll block some sound.
Sound deafening quality.
Yeah, let me check in the PHP because I don't know. Sometimes Roll20 is vague. with-
PHP
Yeah.
doesn't have anything specific on sound either. I already checked.
We're
No,
looking
I'm
at
just looking for
Tiny
the
Hut.
spell.
Yeah,
Let's
it's just
see.
one of those things. Like, I could probably look up something here. Let's see. Can
I don't know.
sound travel outside Tiny Hut? ANDIE.
Star,
Yes.
just out of curiosity, if we're going to be in these for 8 hours, snow's going to keep falling.
Mm-hmm.
Will enough accumulate at the top to, bust through? Or
They
I mean, it
cannot.
is rounded though, so
Nothing can enter that wasn't there to begin with. So, as far
I
as.
know.
But the only thing that would destroy. Like, are you asking can anybody penetrate this hut?
I think he's trying to
I
make sure we
forgot
don't
that
get
it's-
crushed by snow when we wake up.
Yeah,
No.
The
It
Twitch
doesn't.
chat says that sound in Tiny Hut is muffled from inside to the outside.
Alright, so we'll go with muffled. I'm cool with that. But, as far as, snowfall comes, like, since you're keeping, like, the temperature inside the hut a certain degree, I would say it's safe to say that the snow atop of your hut is going to melt away from being close to that vicinity and just kind of wash over it. So you're not going to be, unless there was like an avalanche that just pile drived on top of you, which there's not, or a blizzard just magically comes in, then you might have cause to worry. But for now, I don't think you would have cause for worry until I roll a 20 on the weather check.
5% chance of imminent death. Sounds good.
Yeah, I like them odds. Here, let's go ahead and get that roll out of the way, and I'll tell you what the weather's like. It's starting to snow. It's not very heavy at first, and we'll go into that further as we continue. So, you guys need to figure out what you're doing for watch. Let's not forget that. So I will back out of the conversation. You guys get organized. I'll come back in, and then you tell me what we're going to do. All right?
There's Borden, Zareth. Who's going for third?
I can do the third. So Borden, Zareth. Oh,
Who's
Borden's
going-
there. Apollo.
Who's going to take the fourth watch then?
I don't think we need a fourth.
Long rest is 8 hours.
Well, you need to get a minimum
Or
of
want to
6.
take 3-hour watches?
No, you only have to take 2. But at any rate, so what's the lineup for watch?
Borden first,
it'd be
Sarah
Borden, Sarah.
second, Apollo third.
Alright, so Borden's going to start the first watch. So is there anything that needs to be talked about before you actually all turn in for tonight?
Leo, what was the situation in the town itself?
The guards are just hanging out. They don't really deal with Ironforge, but the Ironforge clergy, they're on high alert for a mage with a archer as his companion. There's pretty much a manhunt. The town is locked up for the night because of this. It's on lockdown. They'll probably send people out in the morning looking. It's going to be a manhunt. I mean, if we're not going to do anything about it, like I've been stressing for a little bit, I mean, whatever. I'll just go with it, whatever you guys, but I'm trying to protect you. I don't want you guys dying on me.
Well, I guess guess we'll have to figure that out with the rest of the party tomorrow, but it might be a good idea to move up a little bit and meet the caravan a bit later than we had first intended.
We've still got a day and a half before that's a thing, but I'm just trying to protect you guys. But then again, it's not my ass on the line.
Well, it's a good thing that I did ditch my bow.
Here, before we go on this risk, does anyone have an identify spell on them?
I do.
For 10 minutes, yeah.
Is it okay if you can identify that flute you gave me a while back?
I can.
Okay. I'll
There's
hand the
a whole
flute
list
to
of
Oscar.
items that we could identify while we're at it. We got a ring of mind shielding and a ring of arcane storing, I believe, that we've already identified.
I could take I could take one of those 2-hour watches just to set up and identify.
Alright.
I'll give my flute to him for him to do that when the time comes.
I gotta remember what that thing was called. No. Let's see, where did we get that? Do you remember? It was in the beginning chest, wasn't it?
It was with the shield.
Alright.
Yeah, it was a beginning chest.
Alright, so I gotta literally hunt down the rooms that you were in. Alright,
And we moved through a secret passage, and then in the next room somewhere at the top.
Don't worry about it, I know. Like, I know this here was gotten before you got to the other thing, so let's see here. I don't have it in that one. It's
Before my
probably-
nervous funhouse.
Oh, that was a fun episode. I don't know what you're talking about. We're just browsing to see what we left. Okay, there's the horseshoes. Doesn't have the flute there. Maybe that was in the upper one then. Yeah, you found one up here. Okay, there's the buckler. After examining the flute, it is a instrument of the bards. All instruments of the bards have the capability of storing spells. Besides the specific spells that each individual instrument could hold, a bard playing any one such instrument could invoke the spells Fly, Invisibility, Levitate, and Protection from Evil and Good once a day until next dawn. So I believe you can look up the actual item, Instrument of Bards, and you might be able to pull that over. If it's not there. Nope, no results.
I can put it in manually.
Alright, yeah. I can take this description and copy paste it for you so you can do the same. That way you don't have to write it all out. How's that? So here's the flute. Now, the other thing you had are these horseshoes. You want to go ahead and identify them as well, right? Oscar?
Yes.
Alright, so the horseshoes are horseshoes of Zephyr. These iron horseshoes come in a set of 4, while all 4 are fixed to the hooves of a horse or a similar creature. They will allow the creature to move normally while floating 4 inches above the ground. This effect means that the creature can cross or stand above non-solid or unstable surfaces such as water or lava. The creature leaves no tracks and ignores difficult terrain. In addition, the creature can move at normal speed for up to 12 hours a day without suffering exhaustion from a forced march, and I will copy paste that as well. There you go. Those are those 2 items. Is there anything else we left unidentified?
There's slippers and a bag.
Alright, let me move over to the other side of the map because I think that's where you found them.
Yeah, those were in the vault.
There was still plenty of places to explore, but I think you guys managed to get all the chests. Let's see. That's the strange piece of paper, so nothing in that one. Identifying the bag, you find a bag of holding. Congratulations. Alright, moving on. Okay, we identified the rings, so those are, and the gauntlet, right?
Yep. Just got the slippers left.
The slippers are slippers of spider climbing. That one is in the
Alright.
compendium.
They all are except for the flute.
Yeah.
I was going to get the flute anyway too, although I'm guessing you got that down already.
Yeah.
Alright. So that's all the items now? Everything's identified, or are you guys cleared now?
I believe so, yes.
What is the flute made of? Is it like silver? Wood?
It is silver with gold inlays around the, like the holes where you press down on the keys. The key itself is kind of like a pearl white, and it's laced with gold, and the flute itself is kind of silverish.
Okay.
Leo could hang on to that bag of holding so we have even more space to store shit. Unless someone else wants to store some stuff.
Yep, you got another bag of holding now, so there you go.
I think maybe split the bags of holding up just so we don't end up putting one inside the other since they're on different people.
I agree with that, and plus that way, if we're in a anti-magical land and if one gets found, both aren't found.
Split the horde. Good idea.
I could have it if you want. If someone else wants it, you can go ahead and have it, but I can hold on to it if you guys want.
Yep, I think that's everything on my end.
See, we figured gauntlets were seeing if they could be improved. I believe it was said a while back.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
tried to
I'd like to
ask
check
the
it
old.
out.
Yeah, he tried to ask the old crone if she could improve them, and she did not have the time or the means to do so. Which also led to.
Or she was just really mad at me.
Yeah, that too. But yeah, hopefully we can figure out what that's all about later. So I will rejoin the front page now as we continue to discover what we're going to be up to. So nighttime is starting to fall. You finish identifying all these items. Is there any other conversation pieces before we go into the first watch?
Was there any other distribution we needed to worry about?
There's a ring of mind shielding no one has claimed yet.
I'm just going to relate to the party all the magic items I've done.
So I would grab that because it's got a lot of uses for, everything. To be entirely honest.
Cleric needs to keep a cool head.
Actually, I need to keep people from trying to take me over and shit and read my mind. Not quite paranoia, but
And then who wants the slippers?
Those could be useful for me.
I'd give them to a range character, sure, someone that can actually use that.
Let me have them for now, and when you get your boat back, I'll give them to you.
Yeah, sure, mate.
Alright, so are we prepared for first watch now?
I believe yes.
Alright, so with that, you are taking watch. Go ahead and make me. I'm sorry?
Is there any visual indicator about storing spells into the ring?
If you're going to do it before a long rest, I would do that. Like, you're going to actually have to cast the spell and it gets marked off, and then it'll be stored in your ring.
I'm going to cast Fireball and Invisibility on the ring.
What levels are they?
3 and 2.
So that's a total of 5 charges. And the
Right,
ring
yeah,
has
hit a
5
whole
charges.
time.
Yep, you can do that. That'll work. So you cast Fireball and Invisibility into the ring, and you have those for later use. So you put that on the ring and let that be known. Alright. Any other business before the long rest starts? Alright, with that I will have Borden go ahead and make a perception check for his watch.
Don't let me down.
It let you down.
I spoke too soon.
Is that a 1?
That is a natural 1. I don't see shit.
Hmm.
Ooh, look,
Alright.
fingers.
Pretty much, yeah. Flip side of the token, just because I don't see something doesn't mean something has to happen either.
Yeah, high is good, low is bad. So, with that, nothing happens. You go through the 2 hours. You were able to be ditzy as can be. Nothing happens. You don't notice anything, obviously. The weather is starting to pick up. It is starting to snow a little bit. You can see about a couple inches that managed to come down and kind of distract you from any serious onlooking. It's just been one.
I was too busy watching the snow. You know.
Yeah, it's just been one screwed up day, and you're just lost in thought there. You're like, how? Why? What the? You're going through all the, the whole questioning thing. But then 2 hours pass. You haven't got any closer to an answer, and it's whoever's shift is next. So who do you want to wake up?
Zareth was next.
Alright, so you go over and wake up Zareth. Zareth, you wake up.
Evening, Broden. Anything up?
Just some snow.
Lovely.
I'm not lying.
Yeah, and it looks like it's 2 inches thicker around the dome. You're figure
Well-
8. There's a figure 8 literally in the snow now with the 2 domes.
Well, mate. Good night.
Alright, let me go ahead and get a perception check from you. You glance out, keeping a careful watch for most of the night. You could have sworn you heard dire wolves in the distance. However, other than that, you don't have any serious oncomings from anyone nearby, and your watch passes without any incident. And
Then I go wake up Apollo.
alright, Apollo, you wake up. Zareth shakes you awake.
Alright. Now for that perception. Yeah, I'm gonna spend a luck on that.
Hold on 1 second while we do something, because there was something I was going to kind of do, but
Yeah.
I'm going to use luck on that. Jeez. Might as well burn it.
I see
before-
God.
Alright, give me a second here, because I got something else I need to work on too here. I'm going to have her make a... And God was good, God was great. So, Lindsay's kind of stirring a bit in her sleep. She's kind of shaking, jolting. Her dreams are kind of... You're imagining she's having a nightmare from the way her body movements kind of jolting there while she's sleeping. Other than that, there's nothing outside the dome that gives you any kind of concerns. Just the fact that she's making a lot of wild movements off in her sleep.
Okay.
And if you don't want to do anything, I can move on to the next watch.
Let me see. No. I'll go ahead and just wake up the next watch.
Alright, who was going to be on the last? That's technically 3.
Yeah, none.
Alright. Alright, so you guys managed to get a long rest. Lindsay wakes up in a bead of sweat, and if she could scream, she would, but she just muted as she is. All you could see is her pale features, even paler than normal. You all kind of wake up from this long rest, and you can see her sweating and stressing and just looking around. You guys kind of paranoid look in her eye. But other than
You're
that,
fine, Lindsley.
no, other than that, everybody gets a long rest. And with this, as promised, when you guys finally found a comfortable place to actually get a long rest, I'm going to let you finally level up.
Yay.
So we're going to take a quick break here. About an hour and 16 minutes in. That's not too bad. And you guys go ahead and figure out what you want to do for level 6. And then we'll get right back into the business of what's going on here. So, for my gamblers, who wants to roll hit die?
Oh yeah, sure.
Alright, so go ahead and roll your hit die. Let's see what you get. What are you leveling up, by the way? Since you're multi-class now.
Yeah, I think I go in my 2nd level ranger, and that will be it.
Alright, so you're going to be doing a d10. Just roll the dice and then add your modifiers later.
A 1, really?
I will allow you to re-roll once because that's what Matt Mercer does for his group. So you get 5 plus your modifiers.
Yeah,
And
I believe it's 8 in
Alright.
total then.
Alright.
I could have taken average, been just fine.
Yep, re-roll your 1 there, Oscar. Oh! Good job. No, re-roll it again. I'm not going to let anyone pass.
If he gets a third one, he takes 1 though.
No,
You
roll
said we're
it
gonna roll.
again. Roll it again. 2. There you go. That's karma. Alright, anybody else rolling? Leo, what are you doing? Average?
Average.
Very well.
I'm
I believe-
taking average.
Are there any new feats or abilities for your class that I need to be aware of? You know,
Extra
like,
attack for me.
finally.
I get the magical secrets, which is choose 2 spells from any caster.
That's right. Do you know what 2 spells you're
I can
picking?
cast. Currently looking at that right now.
Alright, so you're still researching.
I take the double-handed fighting style feat, so I can now attack with
With the
a second sword with my modifier.
Alright, sounds good.
So I'm just working on spells.
Yep, the spellcasters are working on spells, and everybody got their HP figured out. We'll get back into the new day here shortly. Let me take a quick break and thank my viewers. And basically, I had a Humble Bundle that got charged this month. Yay! But some of the games weren't something I'd see myself playing, so instead of just not using them at all, I'm going to give away Hearts of Iron 4 after the stream. So if you want to join in on that raffle, hit me up with a follow. That way you qualify, and then just type !raffle in chat, and at the end we'll pick a winner. So tune in for that as we get finished. Just remind me to do that in case I'm like, I'm not going to give it away. But yeah. By the way, also, I figured out player handbook sharing with campaigns now, so if there's something in the compendium that's in the player's handbook, you should be able to look it up this time. Shouldn't have any problems. If you do, let me know, and then I'll have a little bitch session with their support staff.
Oh, Zareth, I think Rangers also get some magic at 2nd level.
3rd, I believe. It's all starred.
Yeah, I think it is. It's either 3rd or 2nd, I don't remember.
It's 2nd. I'm looking at the PBH right now. You get 2
Okay.
spells and 2 first level spell slots.
Yeah.
Then I probably already sorted that out.
Well, as long as you got it figured
I
out.
take Good Berry,
Yum. not a bad spell by all means. It's definitely a way to avoid, like, hunger and all that good stuff.
I can't drag class features from this thing, can I?
No, like the features themselves, it won't let you. Like if it's a feat, yeah, you could do that, but it won't let the features, which I think is retarded, and they need to do something about that.
I agree entirely.
Yeah, but you can copy paste it.
At least there's that.
Yep. So as everybody's starting to finish leveling, if you haven't joined the raffle, by all means, hit that follow button and hit that exclamation raffle and win you a Hearts of Iron 4 at the end of the stream, just to kind of reiterate on that lovely information. With that, let's see. Is everybody kind of squared away? Do you need a few minutes?
All mine's just copy pasta.
Right. Oscar, do you need a few minutes, or how are you doing?
I think I pretty much got it.
Alright. Is everybody else pretty much ready, or do we need to hold up?
We can go ahead
I'll
and start.
just take Hunter's Mold. No, I'm not sure then. Will I?
Pastor's Other Trace might be a nice one.
Yes, it's a level 3 spell though,
Well, if
or level 2 one.
Oh, okay.
that's going to be out of his range, especially if he doesn't multi-class into it that deeply. But
no, I was thinking 2 or 3.
But let's see here. If everybody has everything ironed out, how's the paladin looking? Are you ironed out for the most part, Leo?
Yeah. Well, for me at least, I'm
Oh, Apollo.
still
yeah.
looking at the 2 spells, but we can go ahead and go. I'll just be looking as we.
All right. And Apollo,
with them.
okay, Apollo and Leo. Leo, you're set up too.
Yeah, I just got an extra attack and some HP, and that's it.
Cool. All right. With that, you guys get up from a long rest, seeing a panic Lindsay. Go ahead. Sarah?
I'm going to do a quick ninja AFK then to grab a new drink.
All right, go right ahead, man. You know what? I'm gonna do the same. So, potty break at this time too. We'll take it about a minute or two. Don't take too long. But I'll be right back.
Okay, so right now I'm debating what my second. What is it?
Arcane secret thing.
No, it's not that. It's my 3rd level spell that I want to get. Actually, let me see in the PHP because sometimes the Compodium doesn't have it.
See, I'm tempted just to take mass healing word. Because clerics at that 6th level get blessed healer. And I can target literally the entire party with 1 bonus action for heals.
Okay, I am back, so we can get back into this story. And it sounds like you guys are still sorting out a couple of spells. But we'll get right back into this part here where Lindsay is kind of looking panicked and watching you guys as she's kind of wide-eyed, kind of wild look in her eyes. And yeah, you guys free to interact at this point as you all wake up from a long rest.
I wouldn't think this is a curse or anything, would I? Because this is not the first time it's happened.
Make a religion check, I think.
Because I'm great at those.
Yeah, obviously you
Better
are.
than perception.
You got suspicions. You think it might be something to do with like her recent experience in run-in with Minerva. But other than that, you don't sense any curse about it. It must be psychological at this point.
Alrighty.
I'll ask Lindsay what's wrong with her.
She just kind of points at her head and then just some indication that she had a really bad nightmare.
Magic can't heal that.
She's kind of left.
You,
No,
you
go ahead.
want us to wake you up if we see you having a bad dream?
She just shrugs her shoulders, unsure if that's what she would want either. Like, she needs sleep, but she can't. But, yeah. It's weird. She just doesn't know what to say to it. Or, technically, she doesn't
How much
say
snow
anything.
is on the top of the dome?
There's nothing on top of it. There's about maybe a foot of snow on the outside edge of it, though. And it kind of tapered off at this point. And about, let's see here. No, I'd say both domes would still be up for a little bit. It's been like maybe 7 hours, so there's probably another hour before the domes start popping off. You can see the sunrise coming over the easterly mountains as you are all encased in this lovely looking mountain range valley. What does Dancing Lights want to do?
Have breakfast.
Do we have rations?
I still have 3 left.
I think you learned a handy dandy new spell too that would help too.
Yes, and it needs component.
Oh yeah, that's true. In that case, so you all have rations for today. Go ahead and mark off 1 rations as you all get around and start eating. I don't know if Lindsay had rations on her. I should definitely check her inventory that I actually have a character sheet for. Let me see if she had rations. No, sure. No, she doesn't.
Oh wait, and before we start consuming rations, I have some self-made direwolf rations.
Yeah, you can split them up amongst the group if you want.
So I do that so that we have some better preservable stuff for.
Alright. So you share your direwolf rations. Did I tell you how many they were worth?
No, you did not.
3 in total. 1 for each.
Yeah.
But in total, I have 3. So I use 1. I give 1 to Lindsley. Then, who wants the other one?
I mean, I'm still good.
You can hold on to it for next time. So mark off
Okay,
two.
I'll take it.
Or give it to Oscar. I was just trying to expedite this.
Okay, I give it to Oscar.
Alright, so Oscar will take your 3rd one and preserve 1 of his rations instead. Alright, so you all have this meal. You're having this breakfast. It is within this hour you have left on the domes. Is there anything you guys want to do after you get done eating there?
Well, what's our plan of action now? I've shared my thoughts, but what do you guys think we need to do?
Well,
We need to lay low,
Roden-
obviously.
Broden and Apollo can move into town to buy some rations.
Paulo, you were saying something. Why don't you go ahead and do that? I noticed everybody cutting each other off, but I need to come back. Apollo, what did you want to say?
I was just gonna say that, if we need to get stuff from the town, at least Borden and I can do that. But I was just gonna ask the party if, are we gonna try and clear any names at all, or are we just gonna avoid the whole situation, or is there even something bigger that's going on, that we need to deal with?
There's no names to clear. The Ironforge clergy just wants to kill all arcane casters. They burn them in the middle of the village. So I don't know what kind of magic you do, Apollo, but don't cast spells when you're in a city.
All right. Anything else going on?
Who here has been seen as far as, who here is wanted?
You and Zareth, I believe.
They haven't seen me. They're just looking for some guy with a bow, which I ditched. It's out there somewhere in the snow.
I was almost completely covered up. If I can get a new set of clothes, then I can go back to the city.
Can't I give him the cloak and gloves and that suffice?
It's very similar to what he's already wearing.
Just so y'all could, see what I'm wearing. I'm wearing pretty much white direwolf clothes and a scarf and whatever type of gloves that Zareth gave me.
They're black leather gloves from my armor. You replaced them in the general store last week. But I think we can send Apollo and Broden in to grab some supplies, see what the stuff is all about in town, and we circle around. We move towards the. No, we're at the north gate, so we move up away from the town and wait for the caravan to happen.
No matter what we're doing, we gotta get at it quick and not be found under these domes.
About 30 minutes pass as you guys are discussing this.
We might be able to hide it behind a hill and shove some snow up at it at one side to hide it a bit.
Alright.
Well,
So-
bringing Oscar back in town would be a bad problem because the bar owner did pick up him immediately. So maybe the tracking device that the carriage uses can do so as well.
Now, Oscar, when they noted that you were a magic user, do you know if they particularly know if they detected you as the person being of magic, or is it just from casting?
Well, they saw me cast, if that's what you're wondering.
Okay. Because I'm trying to think if there's any way we could make them believe that there isn't, if all they saw was like a mirage or a trick that somebody pulled on you, maybe, and just sort of lie out of it.
Well, they saw me use prestidigitation and an invisibility spell.
There are sensing crystals of sorts in the towns that pick up any sort of arcane cast. That's why I assume why the Ironforge clergy came after you, because you tried to mess with the old lady, which I give you props for, because I don't like her very much. But I'm sure that's why they were checking out the area super well.
Alright, so as previously stated, Borden is ready to go because I don't fancy the idea of being found in here.
Yeah, about 20 minutes are left on your dome, so you might need to figure out what you want to do soon.
So we're going to go with the caravan in 2 days, or we could go pick up like 50 rations and then make our own way north right now if we so desired.
I would say Apollo and Broden get some supplies in town, and then we hide with the caravan, because they were assembling trade goods.
Oh,
I mean, what are you guys looking for exactly if we go in?
Alright, so go ahead and make a list for him. I mean, tell him what he needs to be on the lookout for on his thing there. You guys gotta have this full conversation of supplies that you think you're gonna need until this caravan takes off.
I don't really think we need anything other than rations, because I don't know exactly how far away we are from the border. But beyond
And a
that,
short bow, please.
you just ditched one. They're gonna think it's odd.
They're probably not going to look at a dwarf picking up a bow and be like, "Yeah, no, that's normal."
And same with the, you know,
Especially
a half
with
elf.
the hunting
I don't
season
think so.
going on.
Apollo, you got interrupted again. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, you know, also with Born, you know, a half elf also picking up a bow, that wouldn't seem to cause anything, you know, out of place. So, I don't think
That
getting
was
a
complete sarcasm. Bows aren't dexterous. Dwarves aren't dexterous usually.
I mean, they are seen with weapons though, but yeah, in general, if
Have
either
you
of us got
met
one, it wouldn't be that
Bianca?
suspicious.
Have you met Bianca yet? No. Anyway. So, I'm gonna send Borden and Apollo into town to get supplies. So far, you've only said you wanted rations. Anything else?
And a short bow.
About 5 minutes left on the, or your domes. What do you want to do?
Yeah, I'm good to start walking into town.
Alright, so
Same.
Apollo and Borden are going to start making their way out of town. So as they start trekking in, the gate is looking like it's open as morning is fully hid. But what are the rest of you doing?
Lay low. I'm going to remove some of the tracks that Broden and Apollo made,
Alright.
and move up a couple, 100 feet or so.
In order to remove those tracks, let me get a survival check from you to see how well you hide the tracks.
And I close my character sheet.
Why would you do that? As a player, you should leave that open always. Not a bad job.
But we don't all have two monitors to bounce things around on.
What else are you watching? You watching YouTube too? I mean, come on. Nah.
No, I was dragging something.
You
in
can
my
always
character
pop.
sheet.
You can pop your character sheet out, and then it'll hide in the background, and you just alt tab to it if you need to. That's also an option. But anyway, your survival was very good. You managed to hide most of the tracks, and you guys are. There's nothing threatening or hostile towards you at this early morning juncture of the day. So, what does the 3 or 4 or 5? We got the Fox, we got Lindsay, we got Oscar, we got Zareth, and we got Leo. What do you guys want to do?
Leo probably would have went with Borden and Apollo to town.
And what is Oscar and Zareth going to do while you guys are all going to town?
I'm going to wait here and keep a lookout because if I move, they may not find us when we get back. So
Alright, so your domes disappear. If you guys are going to try to stay hidden, let me get stealth checks.
Well, I first want to move a bit away from where we currently are, and then hide the tracks again.
Alright, so
okay.
you need to have this conversation with Oscar.
Oscar, let's head up north for 100 feet or so, and let's see if we can find a better place to hide. Because
Sounds like
this
we
is
see
a bit
this.
close to the city gate.
As long as we can see this location.
Alright, so I will need stealth checks, and then I will get an investigation, I believe, to see how well the area up north will be for finding any place
And
to
I
hide.
wanted to say, I wanted to help Oscar with his stealth, but
No, you can't help him. not with stealth. I mean, it's still going to be a worldly average, but he's still real good. Don't worry. So you guys managed to stealth northward. Yeah. Oscar, why don't you make an investigation with him? You search around, and this area is it's just hilly. There's tree lines, yes, but it's very thin. Like, it's nowhere like a thick forest or anything. And as you've already known, it's sparse wooding. So finding anything to hide behind, you would probably be better off just hiding behind these trees. But to what extent and to how much aid it would give it, you don't find any dramatic cover.
Can we make like a small slope with the snow to hide behind? It's like we make a wall of snow like a foot high to lay low.
That sounds like it would be more noticeable than anything.
Yeah, it's not a straight wall, like a small incline, so that it looks natural.
Yeah, let me go ahead and get a survival check, and you can make it like a bunker is what I'm imagining you're trying to say. You're making like a bunker you can hide behind of snow. Sound right?
Yes.
Alright, go ahead and make a survival check to see how well you blend in the snow and the structure and keeping it from... Yeah, you make it decently, bunker that doesn't look like it's that noticeable. So the two of you kind of hide behind this bunker while the rest of your party makes their way to town. We have, let's see, Borden and Paulo and Leo with the fox, and I imagine Lindsay as well, because that would lower the amount of people outside of town. That would probably draw attention. Is that fine with you guys?
Yes.
Alright, so with...
Yeah.
all the innocent people are going to town. Guards look down to you, and as you approach, hey! Have you seen any magic users out there, have you?
No, but I found my friends.
Oh, hey, good on you, friend. We're about to get off our watch here soon. It seems like those magic users got away last night. But, alright, go ahead and make sure... Oh, the gate's already open. Come on back in. Looks like we're off high alert. And they let you in. And, yeah, the view of this little village seems to have, like, some... protection of sorts, as these guards are out there to protect the gates, and there's definitely a patrol that goes through the city. As you're walking back into town, let's just do a round of perception for those who are entering.
A little scrolling on this sheet.
Somewhere between performance and props. Alright, so with that, this being your first time into town, Apollo and Borden, you guys are being more noticeable. Leo's been here, so he's just like, I'm just going to go where I know I need to go. But you notice the patrolmen are different that are kind of wandering the streets. Like, you had the city guard posts that were sitting out there by the gates. But the people who are looking like they're militia that's patrolling the interior of the city, you notice there's like a shield on some of their backs, and it has the Ironforge emblem engraved into it, and you could definitely see these as possible Ironforge warriors or mercenaries or whatever they might be. So you're kind of like, we need to stick away from those guys. Those guys seem like bad news. But other than that, you have your choice here. There's a bakery that you kind of pass by. It's called the Red Bonnet. So if you had like a sweet tooth that you wanted, wanted to check into, you can come in here and buy some stuff that's sweet, or you can head back to the general store where there's actually 40 gold waiting for you with Frederick, or whatever his name was. I'll remember it here in a second.
Yeah, Sebastian Frederick.
Frederick, yeah, Vedrick, if you wanted to keep up with that. Frederick, who runs the general shop, if you want to go in and see him.
I haven't seen him anyway, just pass on word.
Alright. So we're going to go to the general shop then?
Yep.
With it being early morning, he looks like he probably just opened up the place. It's getting to be about around 8 a.m. or so. You see this old grizzled, silvered hair, light goatee, and he's got a crossbow on his hip, and he notices you all coming in. Hey. Oh, hey, welcome back, friend. Are these the ones that you were looking for?
Yeah, I found them last night. So you want to hook them up with some stuff they need?
Well, I still have that 40 gold you left, so go ahead and tell me what you need.
What was it? 15 days of rations, I think the number turnout was.
What are you wanting? 15 days worth? Wonder.
Was that the number that was thrown out? Was it 15 or 50? Or what did
50.
50.
Okay.
And a short bow.
We'll get to that. One thing at a time.
You're not there.
Yeah, shut up.
Yeah, go away. You're not here. Wow, why don't they... So, Roll20 will go through the trouble to put the item in the thing, but they will not go through the trouble to put how much it's worth. Thank you, Roll20, for... Oops. Sorry. I dropped chat. I apologize.
Drop chat.
Well, I dropped my mic. And chat's
Wow.
like, probably, what the fuck? Alright, so... And you guys too, probably. I think, what, rations are like, what, 2 silver a piece, or is it copper, or what?
5 silver a piece per ration.
Is that right?
Yeah. 1 day is 5 silver, so that'd be what? 25 gold for 50?
Well, that'll work. I mean, you do have 40 gold saved here, so if that's what you want to do.
And then how about shit like pump tents?
Let's see here.
Camping supplies.
See, there's nothing in the player's handbook per se for that, is there?
Not that I can really think of, to be entirely honest.
So I'll just come up with something. So you're looking for like a...
Like, there's something in the Roll20 content that you got, but I'm not seeing a,
Yeah, I'm not seeing a price and they don't give me one here. What's up with that? Tent, 2 person is 2 gold piece. Actually, I found it.
No, you found it.
Yeah, there's actually a tent in the general store there. So yeah. He would have some of those, by the way. He would have a couple of pop tents that you might be looking for. For 2 gold pieces, they house 2 people each. So think about your party and see how many you need to get.
We need 4.
Alright, so that'd be a total of 8 gold plus the 25. That brings you to 29, I believe. Or, no, 34.
30.
30.
25 and 8's 33.
33, yeah. Odd number there. Alright. I was close. I can math. After yesterday's shenanigans, though, don't blame me for not knowing. Okay, so 33 gold so far. You have 7 gold remaining. Is there anything else you guys need here?
Get that short bow, I guess.
With it being hunting season, most of his bows might be sold out. So, to be fair and to be vengeful, I'm going to say this is a DC 15 if there's a short bow available. Sorry.
Waiting for that. And investigate or perception.
He just doesn't
Oh
have
no.
it. He
Oh,
just,
in his stock roll. I thought you were asking us to
I'm
look
doing.
for it.
No. I was doing a stock roll for him to see if he had it, and he just basically tells you as you ask him for it. He's like, "I'm sorry, hunting season's in. A lot of the bows have been pretty much procured from guards to huntsmen. So currently out of bows."
So we were on a hunt yesterday. That's why we were thinking about getting a new one.
Yeah, it's a damn shame. You know, I know it's a certain thing we need to do around here, but our supplies are limited, and we haven't got a new shipment, and I don't guess if you had a chance to notice, there's not many people here that make weapons. But if you guys need anything else, you still got 7 gold credit here if you need anything that I have.
Does he have area maps? Maps to like.
I would think he would have at least, yeah, to like better the hunt for people who are hunting. They can map out things. I would say like an area map of the valley region at least. Yes.
What you want to run that for?
You're looking for an area map of the region here. This here can get you up through the Appa Mountains on both sides and everything. Basically, he'll tell you 1 gold for the map.
Say, because I've still got compasses. So, yeah, we'll take a map.
Alright, so you can mark that you have a map of the valley area here around Heritage, and if any checks are needed to be made, you'll be able to do advantage on any map checks while in this vicinity. Yeah, so 6 gold left. Did you want to get anything else?
That's what I'm thinking through real quick. If anyone else wants to pipe in.
How about you guys? Is there anything else I can get for you?
Don't have anything on the mind particularly.
Well, if nothing else, it's nice to meet you, because this your friend here, he was kind of worried for you. But if that's the end of your business, he'll wish you a good day and let you go. But do let me know if there's anything you guys need to do before you leave his shop.
Someone has a flint and steel, right? Like, we've made fires before, yeah?
Yes, it's in my dungeoneering kit.
I was gonna say, you did have a sorcerer for that too.
I'm just saying, like, general,
Yeah, absolutely.
supplies.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, this ain't Sprigget. I don't have to worry about jotting down the whole book at you.
Maybe it. No. Or was it?
Yeah, so Borden's just casually looking through his shop, trying to see if there's anything else he needs. The 2 of you seem to be satisfied. Lindsay still seems kind of pale. Very, I don't know, she's not sickly, but you can definitely see that she's bothered by her own thoughts at this time.
Oh, here we go.
Did you find something?
I don't know if he's gonna have it, but
Doesn't hurt
like
to
just
ask.
some blankets, to put between us and the colder ground since it's fucking snow and winter.
Oh yeah, you can definitely make you some, or he has like dire wolf bedrolls. Matter of fact, that those pelts that Sarah dropped on him have probably been fashioned into a couple of these. Let's see, what's the standard cost of bedrolls? Because I decided I was going to close the book and not deal with it.
I know blankets were 5 silver a pop.
Yeah, I don't see them being too expensive. I would say for the necessities of this region, we'll put it at 1 gold piece. And he'll have a total of about 5 blankets that you could probably buy off him.
Unless anyone disagrees. We get some extra blankets and shit in case the weather gets rough while we're out.
Input, Leo? Apollo?
I'm just going along with the party. I don't need anything. There's not much else we can do for the next day and a half, so I'm just gonna kind of hang out with the party and.
Yeah, the bedroll's actually 1 gold piece, so that works out.
So yeah, we'll get some extra bedrolls to shore up our not so weather resistant bedrolls, and I think that'll cut it.
All right then. So you
Then-
had a total of what, 6 gold left, and then that's going to cost you 5, and then he'll toss you guys a gold piece back and says, "Well, there you go, friends."
I'll flip back and say thanks for the business.
And he'll take that gold piece and deposit it. Yep, come back around. Maybe we'll have more supplies later on down the line, but I guess you guys are homeward bound, so good luck.
Praise the sun.
May her fire burn bright. And with that, you guys exit out from the general goods shop. Lindsay following closely behind while she's carrying your dire wolf covered furred fox in her arms, just trying
Is he
to keep
playing
him.
dress up?
Yeah, currently he's kind of dressed up in this little dire wolf outfit that was fashioned to keep him warm because half his fur has been burned off. But yeah, she's keeping him close, and it's like she's using the fox as a teddy bear at this point. With that, you're free to explore the town any further if you want, or make your way back out to join Oscar and Sarah, then try to figure out what you want to do from there. Don't you all chime in at once. I mean, I know it's a difficult decision, and you all want to do something very special right now.
I mean, if we're gonna be killing a bunch of time, I might look around for, like a book store of any kind. Just read up on the current, history of the place.
Let me double check and make sure if I had one or if there is one.
Say if there's not one, then that's fine.
Yeah, this is
That'll
pretty
fill my
much-
downtime, as it were.
Yeah, so
If there was.
you kind of go around town, and are you all just going to stick together and do all this together, or what's the rest of you wanting to do?
I figure we probably want to stay as a group and
Yeah.
try and figure
At
out
least the
anything in
innocence.
town.
Okay. What were you saying there, Leo?
I just added on, stick as a group. At least the innocence.
Mm-hmm. So, exploring the town a little bit further, you see the general mill. There's an apothecary, a potion shop. There's the inn and tavern. There's also the bakery that was mentioned, the Red Bonnet. You can definitely smell like baked goods coming out of that location. There is on the southern end of town where the other party originally came from. There is an Ironforge temple, and you can see some of those military-looking people who have the Ironforge shields on their back walking in and out on occasions. And you kind of assume this is where their outpost for, switching the guard or meeting up and finding out what to do. This must be their base of operation. Other than that, this town is pretty sparse on entertainment and other things. Make a perception, Borden. As you guys walk by, she does kind of look towards it at the Red Bonnet. You see Lindsay kind of staring at it and just smelling the fresh air and of baked goods wafting around, and she kind of stops for a moment, but then she quickly follows in behind you guys, not making any notice of it.
I think someone's got a sweet tooth.
No, she kind of shies her head down and maybe she sneaks a yes motion.
I mean, I'm willing to go in and kill some more time.
Alright.
Because
So,
otherwise it's out camping in the bullshit, so...
yeah. Meanwhile, while you're getting ready to go there, let's check in on Zareth and Oscar. You guys are hiding away behind his bunker. What's the plan?
I'm keeping watch in case the party comes back, or I see any, or if I can see movement from guards
Oscar,
and stuff
what are
like
you
that.
doing?
I am going to take off my scarf and use prestidigitation on it to make it really warm.
Okay.
That
Sure.
way I at least have a small heat source that's not giving me away, and I'm going to just keep looking.
Alright, makes sense. Your party has been gone for about an hour now. But at this point, I would say you just figure they're just Paulo and Borden haven't been around town. Maybe they're just taking it all in. So you kind of rack it up to that for now. Meanwhile, back at the bakery, as you walk in, the Red Bonnet, you see a woman in her later years kind of managing over a few halflings who are helping her bake up all of her baked goods and fill in the shelves. She has like gray hair, she wears a red bonnet as the namesake, and she bakes all kinds of goods here. And you can see pies, cakes, cookies, cupcakes, and donuts. One of her best-selling items, there's like this big display. It's like strawberry crepes layered out, and all this is just basically inside this big old display case. And she kind of greets you. Oh, welcome. Come on in. Warm yourselves up. It's cold outside. Would you like some sweets today? What can I get for you all?
I'm gonna. My plan is to watch Lindsay, see if her eyes linger on anything.
The strawberry crepes look very interesting to her as she looks at them. Not sure what they would taste like, but they look very delicious. And she kind of. You're not the only one noticing her, and the old woman's like, "Ah, you see the strawberry crepes I see? Well, if you want, I can give you guys a dozen of these for a gold piece."
Yeah, I'll pop on that.
Very well. Look, Hannah, get these fine folks a dozen of these crepes, will you please? And this halfling girl is like, "Yes, ma'am, right away." And she starts filling up this little box, like, like a basket of them, and tries to hand it off to you guys. And she's like, "Nope, here, let me get that for you." And she'll take the gold piece from you and hand you a dozen strawberry crepes, and you can share that as you see fit. Well, now that that's out of the way.
So I'll maneuver the fox out of the way and give her one, and
Yeah, and she takes a bite out of it after she gets it, and Lindsay's like, eyes light up happily. She's like smiling and enjoying the taste of this strawberry crepe, and she looks over to you and just kind of motions that, like, you should try this too, is what she's trying to convey with her body language.
they've got 11 more, but I think it might be a good idea to get moving. Unless there's anything else we've got here.
She motions thank you to you. And what else?
I was gonna go up and ask her if there's anything, going on in the city that's, just not normal, or is there anything just weird happening?
Yeah, you strike up a conversation with the old lady then?
I do.
Okay, and she says, define normal. Or unnormal, or, I mean, I get where you're coming from, but still.
I've heard there's been some magic going on that's generally not, cool around this area, but
Yes.
has anyone been trying to, has there been any organization of like crime or, something going on in the city at all?
Within the city itself here? Like, what, like an underground mage group that maybe? Or I'm still trying to understand what you're asking me, young man.
Yeah, it's just if there's some that's just outlawish going around, or anything
Well, I mean,
that shouldn't be here.
you must be one of those strangers that came in the other day. Heard rumors that one of you might have been a magic user, but that's just a rumor, I'm hoping. But Make a persuasion check for me, and I'll see if she'll continue her train of thought with you.
Yeah, I'm using a luck point on
If-
Yeah.
By all means, be my guest.
that.
Turns
there
it-
we go.
So you meet with God again. No. She's like, well, as you know, this land, everything here is just arcane users are pretty much outlaw. And it's a damn shame because many good lives have been wasted on this silly notion that magic can't be used around in this region. Ironforge clergy have kind of raised up the flag to say put them down to stake, and as a sacrificial whatever to Ironforge, they use the fire to represent cleansing the land and do it in Ironforge's name. I don't think that's what Ironforge would want, but who am I to speak against the church, especially in my age? As far as any criminal activities of mages, there's been reports of a hag coven that has been disrupted, like maybe a few months back. Probably 6 months now that I think about it.
A hag.
Well, you know, hags have been known to try to mend into civilized areas like this around here just to do their trickery or whatever. But that coven's been broken, and as far as I know, that whole problem's been taken care of. So it's not just humans they're after any kind of spell casting being that would try to invade their cities. So
Now, does Ironforge have like a particular reason why they're particularly burning people? I mean, it seems kind of, you know,
it
old
does.
style, if you ask me.
Well, there are a bunch of old coots who are in charge of the Ironforge clergy. I mean, up there at Skyforge, no, there's no telling who's running the show up there. Somebody must have a vendetta against mages or something. It's just too significant, but it's just been the way it has been for many years. I wish I could offer you more information, but if you have magic users as friends or family, you just better off getting them off this continent. Move, travel away from here. This is not the place to be. I've had to send away a few of my children at my younger years because I was concerned for their safety. Hopefully, they're safe and sound at the Mages of the Arcana where we sent them.
Yeah, that I understand all of that, and I appreciate your time, really, I do. And we're definitely gonna enjoy these creeps, you know, as we go along.
Absolutely. Now, if there's anything else, I do have donuts and pies you can take along on the road as well. Or
I'm just gonna look
cookies
back
and
to the-
cupcakes. You know, she's just casually trying to offer her wares since you're all in here.
I'm just gonna look back to Board and Lindsay. Do you guys need anything else? Are we good to head off?
And Lindsay will just look to you two, is like, what do we want to do? Borden, any input?
Not really. I did what I came in to do.
Sarah, you interrupted again. Okay, so you did everything you needed to do?
At
Alright.
least in here, yeah.
Alright, so from here, you guys go ahead and exit and try to make your way back. What's the plan?
Yep.
Alright. So, you're starting to walk out the north gate, and you got this box of creeps, and you got your supplies. As you pass out the north gate, let's do another round of perception. And I think Leo's gonna be right back. Other than that, you don't see anything of interest at this point, and you're able to return to
If
the
you
local.
just want to roll a straight 20, you can get him to He doesn't have a modifier on his. I scrolled up a bit. See if he noticed anything.
I mean, I could have just opened up his sheet, but if he's just a straight roll anyway. Yeah, you guys are fine. Don't notice anything. I'll let him actually roll if he comes back here shortly, but otherwise this will be a mute point. So you make your way back to where the dome originally was, or what's the plan?
It's
Yeah,
a
we're
starting
trying
point.
to-
Yeah.
All right, so you start heading off in that direction. Zareth and Oscar, you after about an hour and a half, you see your friends finally coming back. You guys go to where the dome is, however, it is no longer there, and signs of Zareth and Oscar have been pretty much removed.
I'm going to use message. I'm assuming you said I saw them.
Yeah, you saw.
Okay, and since we're only 100 feet away, I'm going to use message to tell Borden that we moved north about 100 feet.
All right. You get that message.
Following that, I will go ahead and head that direction.
So Borden starts moving the party, unbeknownst to anybody else for whatever reason, but you kind of assume that he must have a good idea of where he's going. So following him, eventually you come across this little white bunker that's been put up in a way to kind of blend into the area for them to hide behind. And on the other side of the bunker, you see Oscar and Borden. Or I'm not, Oscar and Zara. Sorry, brain fart.
Wondered about that.
Yeah, I backed up. I was like, oh, I said Borden. I don't
I
know
say,
why. You magically
Zareth
jumped
rolled
over.
an amazing
He
it's
ma-
an amazing stealth check. It's just me and Oscar. Zareth's nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, that sounds about right. But yeah, you're all rejoined. And you're able to have a conversation and tell me how you plan to get through the rest of today.
I'd figure we'd head a little farther out so it's not suspicious we're camping right next to the damn gate.
Yeah, that's why I moved up a little bit this morning.
I'd move in a little farther than that too. We've got a time where these people are leaving, yeah?
Yes, 2 days, and we agreed that we would meet them on the road. So we can spend some time traveling up the road and just camp at a day's march from the city.
So are we just gonna stay here until they, show their faces, or?
Not here, we're going to stay there until they show their faces. And if not, we'll make our way on our own as best as we can.
Alright, well, as far as I know, only, as far as I know, Borden, myself, and Leo, we're good to stay in the city, but, you two, you guys can't be out here, forever.
Well, I don't fancy leaving them alone.
On your way here, did you see any caves nearby? You came from this direction, didn't you?
I didn't see any caves. We were more concerned getting back to town. I do, however, have this map, and there might be some stuff marked.
That's interesting. Leo, make a perception check for me. And it might retcon a little bit, but we'll see. You see, as you were walking out the north gate, you notice a stick of wood off to the right with a string going into the snow.
I'll point it out to my compatriots.
It just retconned a little bit. Yeah, you see the stick with string. You assume it might be a bow.
Oh, that's probably Zareth's bow that he got rid of, and then wanted us to get a new one. I don't know why he's gonna keep the old one if we just wanted the bow.
Are you gonna bring it back with you?
Are the guards watching us pick this shit up?
We can find out. Anybody want to
Because
make a
I'm not a
stealth-
fan of incriminating myself there.
Yeah. Anybody wants to make a stealth check to get it? Otherwise, or sleight of hand, I guess. Otherwise, you could just leave it. You don't have to get it for him. Leo, do you want to get it?
Nope.
Apollo, do you want to get it?
Nope, that was all Zareth.
Borden, do you want to get it?
Yeah, no.
All right, then
Good.
everybody left it. So you guys go back. Pretty much, that's just added information at this point. Then. So yeah, you spotted his bow, but none of you wanted to pick it up because you feared the guards might catch it. So coming back to the group, you were discussing moving further out. So go ahead and have that conversation. I didn't mean to interrupt that.
That's a good.
Yep.
This map I've got, does it have any significant landmarks?
You got it from this bounty hunter, so there is a high possibility of doing so. So make a survival check with advantage, and we'll see what we can find out. A lot of this stuff I'm going to have to improv, though, but let's see what you get. High and low. Nice. Alright, cave areas around here. Where would they be? They would probably be off to the east side. You guys pretty much were on the western side of the road, which you didn't notice any caverns. However, there is probably a cavern about 2.5 miles northeast of your current location, thereabout. That would be like the closest cavern that you know. Everything else seems to be sparse.
So, that being said, does that take us away from the caravan path?
It would take
Parallel
you off,
with it?
it would take you off the road a little ways. You could get like up the road and then just track east for a bit. You know, do the northern part of the track and then just track east towards it. But other than that, it will take you off the main road, and it will probably put you about a half a mile away from the road.
Sounds fair to me.
So that's the information you have. Go ahead and share it with your friends.
So it looks like there's a cave marked here. Be about a half mile from the road.
That sounds like a good place to spend a few days.
Yeah, as long as there's nothing in the cave.
One way to find out.
So the group's going to go ahead and start heading that direction. I'm asking.
I hear notice it.
Yes, let's
Why
move
not?
that way.
Alright, there we go. I need some confirmation here, folks. Alright, moving on. So, with that in mind, Dancing Light starts to gather up their things from this location. How do you want to go about this trek? Like, are you going to try to hide your presence at any way, or are you just going to make the trek? Because most of you are pretty much innocent, or, you know, kind of give me, like, marching order and how you're moving along.
Put the guilty members in the middle and just kind of go around them as we walk to make it easy.
Sounds good. So Lindsay and the Fox in the back, Paulo on one side, Borden on one side, Leo in the front, and those two in the middle. Something like that, I mean.
Sure.
Yep. So you guys are going to use the main road to trek as far north as you can. Correct me if I'm wrong at any point. And then as soon as you get as far north as you think you need to be, you'll start trekking east from there, right?
Seems pretty logical. The main
Yes.
road will probably have less snow buildup if parts or horses have been on it recently.
Alright. So with that, I will have, let's see, what should we do here? This is coming from the north, so nothing really is coming from that direction. I'm evaluating a few things here. Let's just do another survival check to make sure you get as close as you can to this cave location, because I don't see anything that's going to be threatening except for maybe direwolves. Yeah, so you managed to get the general direction.
The 22
Oh.
again, yeah. That was
Wait a
the
minute.
initial one to
Wow,
find
yeah,
on
yeah,
the
yeah, I see
map.
that.
So
Gotcha. I started talking too soon, but it was the same roll anyway. So yeah, you're able to get as far north as you think you need to. You go off the beaten path a little ways to the east. You do spot this cavern, however, that's not the only thing you spot. Let's go ahead and do a round of perception now. Everybody rolls one. Never mind, that's all you saw. Some decent rolls. with the majority vote of everybody being able to kind of hear it and point it out, you can hear like what might sound like a pack of dire wolves traveling close by, and the howling seems to be getting closer to your vicinity.
And as soon as we left the road, I want to hide our tracks for a little bit so it isn't as obvious that someone left there.
As you're heading off the road, I'll let you make a survival straight to try to hide your tracks. Not as good as you did before, but for the most part, you dust them as best you can. You make your way towards this cave. Looks like from the outside, just looking in, you can't really see much except for what's looks like a giant opening of earth that just kind of crept up from the ground, covered in snow. There's like maybe the interior here. Oh, it's a little confusing to kind of describe this a bit. I need to rethink. The cave mouth is about 30 foot wide and about 20 feet tall. The cave starts to go in, and it kind of goes down into the earth a little ways, and then it stops about 50 to 60 feet in, and there's no apparent like further traveling beyond that. But you also notice that there is a brown bear that's hibernating here. And dire wolf somewhere on the outside vicinity of this cavern. What would you like to do? Don't all jump at the gun at once, calm down. I'm only one person here. I was being sarcastic.
I'm trying to give other people chances to talk.
I have to ask the party, what are we even doing here? Like, are we even looking
Trying
for
to
something,
find a
in
place
this
to
cave?
hide.
They're trying to find a place to hide. Oscar, do you have anything to say? Leo, do you have anything to say?
Leo's just getting really antsy because we haven't done jack shit all day, and we won't do any jack shit tomorrow. So he's
So
just
upsetting.
getting really antsy. He's just going on with whatever the party wants right now.
Alright,
He
board.
said his piece, so
Well,
just waiting now.
there's threats of wild animals nearby. What is the party doing as a general consensus? Are you guys going to try to take care of the hibernating bear? Or are you just going to throw up? I'm not going to come up with any of these ideals. You guys got to tell me what you're doing.
How far are those dire wolves?
You can make
Can we tell
with
from
your
down?
perception roll. You could tell they're probably within 60 feet from your location, so they are very close. And you have a hibernating bear that's kind of residing inside this cavern. Like
And
if
are
you
they
want us to,
moving this way?
all right, so Leo, what were you saying? I think I heard you.
I was just gonna ask the party, like, what the hell we're doing. Do we want to stay here? Do we want to find a different cave? Do we want to do another bubble for the day? We got to do something. No one's speaking up.
I'm perfectly fine with the bubble because one, it's something we can do anytime we feel like, and two, there's nothing that can hurt us while we're in it. So, I mean, I don't see a problem with that. It's more of just, what are we going to be doing in this time that apparently these mages are going to be, heading out? Because they're taking their sweet time with whatever they're doing. We're just sitting here, and these guards are going to end up looking for us at some point. I mean, we can't just be sitting out here, doing nothing. So,
I think you'll find we can.
Yep.
Oscar,
Well, let's find out. What are we doing right now, though?
Oscar, what are you doing?
I can make a bubble if you all want, or we can clear the cave. It's up to you.
At about this time, you guys hear growling as the dire wolves have picked up the scent of you. The bear will not be any problem since he is hibernating, but if you wish to engage him, he might wake up. But at this point here, we're going to have to deal with...
Should we leave or fight?
a small pack of dire wolves. Alright, what's the plan, Dancing Lights? As these 5 dire wolves start stalking into your region and start circling around, getting ready to attack.
Where's the bear for reference?
He is inside the cavern, and you guys are pretty much on the outside edge of the cavern leading in. And these dire wolves are coming out from behind the cavern and then making themselves known as they start to stalk around you.
Alright, well, I'm just gonna cast Fairy Fire on the whole lot of wolves.
I'll tell you what, since you all took too long, we're just going to roll initiative. Let me clear. And now go ahead and make your initiative attack. Or initiative rolls.
My first initiative roll was 8 though, but I forgot to click my token.
Well, then it's not 8.
So change it.
Why would you? Well, fine, I'll change it.
I mean, Zareth can change it too. He has access to that.
There, done. Alright, everybody rolled? Top of the order, Oscar. You see these 5 dire wolves closing in on your party. What would you like to do?
So I guess they're going to fight. They'll have Fairy Fire, right?
Is that something that, since I called out before,
Well,
or is...
have you used... I believe you used Fairy Fire in the past, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Okay, I was just making sure it went through before the
It
fight
did not
started.
go through because you guys took too long to answer me. So you guys are now pretty much... Like, I technically should have gave the dire wolves a surprise round. Instead, I went straight to initiative. So you're the top of the round. What do you want to do? Nothing's been done yet.
I am going to, I'm going to back away and use a Scorching Ray on the closest one.
Alright, go ahead and back away and give me some rolls. Ooh, nice. Let's see. 1 will miss, 2 will hit. Alright, total of 18 points of damage. You fire off 2 scorching rays that hit and impact on the dire wolf, and it growls out in anger and pain. But one of them just shivers off and just kind of bolts into the ground and melts a little bit of snow before dissipating. Anything else for
It's
your turn?
13, by the way, not 18.
Alright.
And yeah, that'll end.
Alright, with that, Leo, it is your turn. What would you like to do?
What one was damaged?
This one right here. Closest one, he says.
I'll go ahead and take a couple attacks on him.
Alright, so Leo approaches. Both hit.
.21 points of damage. Is he
Alright.
dead?
No. You slash twice on him, and he's just snarling very angrily. He's bleeding out, but however, he is still standing.
And bonus action, I'll go ahead and slash him again.
Alright, go ahead and make that attack roll. And that's a hit. Go ahead and make me some damage. With that, on your bonus attack, you are able to finally finish off the direwolf, and he falls to the ground. And that kind of causes a little chaos there from the others. And then you make your movement back towards the party, right? Apollo, now you can now you can do what you want.
Okay.
Excuse me.
All right. This wolf, I'm gonna just do vicious mockery.
Right. And
So it
go
needs
ahead
to
and bring
be
that up
wisdom
for me. It does fail, and it takes 5. And what else does vicious mockery? Is it disadvantage on next attack?
Yep. And that's gonna be all.
Alright. Direwolf's turn. Down like that.
Are you mad at me?
Don't worry, not all 3 of them are going to go after you. What would give you that idea that I would be mad at you?
Well, you said one of them straight to flanking, moving them there.
Mm-hmm. I'm still trying to debate, did I have more movement? Let me check something real quick.
I think they got a 50 movement.
Because I was trying to get to your back line a little bit. I could probably move that one there, move that one there. Like, I probably should have gave you guys a chance to readjust, but you guys took too long. Alright, so let me see here. Who should we fire this off of first? I think we need to kill that rogue before anybody. So I will start with him. Pack tactics, so he has advantage. 13 hit.
Misses.
Alright, and the other one will bite. 20 hit.
Yes, it does.
Make a strength saving throw, please. And you are knocked prone. So this wolf in front of you, you managed to duck back and get out of its way. However, as soon as you duck back, your arm gets snagged to the ground, and this wolf bites down on you, doing 10 points of damage, and he just drags you to the ground. And he's just kind of holding you down now, and you're pretty much prone at the moment. So with that, what a snail, that looks nice. That's you, Borden. Let's see what we got for you, friend. And pack tactics as well. 22. Wow, I actually hit you, don't I?
Yeah.
And here's the other one. And I need you to make 2 strength saving throws. That's a save. That's a fail. First one bites you, grabs your arm, does 8 points of damage, and tries to drag you down. You pull your arm away, and then right behind you, the other one grabs the other arm with your shield, and then you get dragged down, and you take 22 points of damage from its pierce, and it just starts to maul into you and puts you down to the ground. And that is the dire wolf's turns. We are now up to Zareth.
So that wolf still has me grappled in one arm.
Well, you're technically just prone. He got you down. You can use half your movement to stand up, and then you can act. And you'll have 15 feet of movement left. Or half of whatever your movement is.
Okay, then I stand up.
Alright, so you spend half of your movement to stand up.
And then I'm going to attack the dire wolf in the back.
Alright, go ahead and make Make an attack. That will hit. Is that all?
That's worth 12.
12 and 6 is 18. You do have an ally within 5 feet, so you do get flanking.
Okay, yes.
Or not flanking, but sneak attack.
So, and then I attack it again. For 10.
Okay. There we go. Took the numbers a little bit to come up. So we got 18. And then we got 10.
Yes.
You get in there, you stab at it, you leap up to your feet, and you're like, this wolf just bit me, I'm gonna strike him back. You strike him back real hard with the first blow, and then he's still managing to, bite and growl towards you as you try to fend him off. You do another swing, kind of chop into his gall of his cheek, and you're doing some serious damage. He looks seriously wounded from your attack, however, he seems very bent on taking you down, and he is still breathing, and he is still alive, and he's ready to keep going. And with that, it is now Borden's turn.
I'll use half my movement to stand. Party is safe. As is that brown bear, because I don't feel like pissing him off quite yet.
The electric chainsaw. Alright, so...
You put them all around me. This is asking for it.
No,
and
that's
it's
fine.
not even a serious encounter.
I'm not even worried about it. Yeah, seriously, it's not serious. Nothing personal. I get it. Let's see, there's 4 of them
It's
left.
a fun one to burn.
And they look like they all fail, so there you go. So that's a total of 22 damage.
22 to all.
That will kill the one that Zareth had up as the Spirit Guardians ripple around you and start doing some serious damage to the field around you. It's 22 off here. 22 off. Wow. Yeah, that's... I don't like that move, but that's fine. We'll get rid of it now.
I have more than one cast a day on it, but,
I'll keep that in mind. More random encounters before you... Yeah. So...
I did use half my movement to stand before doing that.
Alright, cool. I was just about to ask. So you use half your movement, you stand up, and you're like, Spirit Guardians, and then all of a sudden this green energy of wind just starts igniting around you as Kazuya blesses the area with these spiritual guardians. Swirls of green energy just kind of pelts into each of these dire wolves as it protects you from harm and fights for you. And with that, you are now... It's your turn over now.
Yeah, I can safely end my turn, I think.
Alright, then we'll move back to Oscar. By the way, Lindsay took the fox and ran back here. Technically, I would probably get an attack of opportunity on the fox, but I'll let it slide. Or will I? No, we're gonna take it, screw it. That fox needs to die. Tactics? Nope, would not work. Alright, so he misses. Lindsay manages to snatch the fox away right before he gets bit and runs back behind Oscar. Alright, Oscar, now it's your turn.
Okay, how hard are the wolves looking?
They're as far as you see them on the page.
Like, are they bloody or...
Oh,
how hard?
well, they're under half, I'll give you that much. Or make a perception check if you want precise health stats. I'm not going to give you the exact number or anything.
I just want to know if one was hurt or not.
They've all been hurt by Spirit Guardians. You just saw
Okay.
that. Okay, seriously, did you even have to ask?
Okay.
Like,
The
Spirit
holy
Guardians...
buzzsaw decrees damage.
Okay, I'm going to just... on the one above,
No, make the
sir.
perception check, because I want to know if I get to tell you, no, they're at full health. No, okay, so everything stands as you said, as you seen fit. So, yeah. So now what do you want to do?
Regardless, I'm attacking the one above Zareth.
Alright, so go ahead and... what are we using?
Another Scorching Ray.
Alright, give me attack roll. One Scorching Ray spirals off to the side, another one spirals off to the side, but one of them manages to hit it square in the head, so go ahead and roll me damage on that. Yeah, I agree with you, Imbert. Spirit Guardian is evil. And the only way to counter it is just to get him to use them all up. Oscar, anything else for your turn?
No, not really.
Sure? I heard you have twin spell and everything.
I don't have twin spell. That's level 10.
Or, oh, okay, not twin spell, but quicken spell. Alright, Leo, anything for your turn? I'm sure you want in on this massacre.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and move over here
Very well.
and attack this guy.
Let's go ahead and make some swings for me, Paladin of Illumina. Natural
Did he
20,
provoke?
nice. You technically would from the one that you... Well, no, he already used his reaction
He
to
already
fight his fox.
used it.
Got it.
Okay,
Yep.
yeah.
I remember too. So go ahead and...
I wasn't sure on that. What is,
For 17 points of damage, you put down that first direwolf.
Alright, that's all my movement, and so I guess on my turn.
Yeah, it kind of ends it right there. Probably should have moved like right here so you can get to both of them. But at any rate, Apollo, what would you like to do? Now that the holy buzzsaw is pretty much clearing my field of direwolves, that's probably how you hunted them.
That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah, it's like that old man would be so proud. I'm bringing him 5. All right, so what's
Alright.
Apollo doing?
The one in front of me, this is mockery again.
Well, let's see if that hits. And that's wisdom. No. And this wolf just lets out a howling yelp as it tries to struggle at its head, and then all of a sudden it crumples over dead as your vicious mockery mocks it to death. Exactly 4 HP. So that ends your turn?
Yep.
I need to go ahead and roll the damage for the start of its turn, don't I?
Yeah. And I'm gonna roll like a fight or flight thing as I check my sending stone here. Be right back in a second, guys.
See, unfortunately, I missed a session, so I have to make up for it with a little bit of overkill right now.
You did have him surround you, so I feel like it's warranted.
Like, I saw him grouping him up. It's like, you either hate me or you just want to pull this spell out. One of the two.
One or the two there. So, let's see here. So, Spirit Guardian. Yeah, well, I do believe he's dead. Fight or flight did not get to go into effect. So, with that, your holy guardians of ethereal fate managed to breeze by and blow this direwolf over as Kazuya has blessed you with the holy chainsaw of massacring direwolf. You are now out of combat. You have a snoring bear in the cavern nearby, but you're all welcome to do whatever you want as these 5 corpses of direwolf lay before your feet.
So what are we gonna do for the next day and a half, guys?
Would it be too much trouble to go ahead and run survival on these real quick?
You sure could.
Because
Here,
we
I
could
have-
get some knuckle-bone dice out of these and just start throwing dice at each other, you know. Like Dead Man's Dice, you know, throw them in a cup, put them out, and make wagers, you know, coppers. Great way to spend a couple of days. Just pissing time.
Sure, I'll help him with his survival check.
Alright, go ahead and let me get on that right screen there. Very good. So, what all are you trying to get out of these again?
Standard field cleaning, and then a few of them I'd like to try to get some bones to make dice out of for shits and gigs.
Alright, so for this purpose here, I'll say you managed to get 5 large pelts of direwolf. About 20 canine teeth of direwolf.
I'm carving the dice out of teeth.
Well, you could if you want. I'm just saying that's something else you can have if you want it. And I guess, like, if you want, what, the femur or something? Rib cage? What do you want?
I think it's usually like knuckle bones people use for the dice
Knuckle bones. So you're cutting off their
because they're
paws.
already mostly inside. You know.
All right, yeah, that's fine. So you cut off their paws. I would say you'd be able to get about, I don't know.
See if there's 4 paws or 4
Well,
fingers of paw.
I would
Then
say
4
you were
paws.
able to, like, with the. I mean, you did roll pretty good, and that's why I gave you the large pelts. But the paws are like a little hard to cut through, and the cuts kind of go a little stray. But I will say you pick up about 8 paws of direwolf that you can use to make these bone dice that you're looking for.
I'm doing it off my head.
Should we clear out the cave so we can hang out there for a day and a half?
I'm not worried about the bear. If the bear's not worried about us, if he's gonna sleep the whole damn time, like, more power to him.
All right, so I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I mean, are we just gonna be sleeping, for the next day and a half or two, whatever time allotted for these people to get done with whatever?
Was anyone else have anything to do?
I have a book on were creatures that I can read.
I need to spend some time with my ritual book.
Sorry about that. I got called away for a second. Don't suppose you heard anything.
So we're just gonna share this cave with the bear and hang out for a few days.
Is that the plan, Dads and Lights?
It gives us downtime to, rest, recuperate, do spells, read books, relax.
Alright, so prepare in this cavern. How do you want to do it? Like, tell me what you're doing so I can kind of map this out in my head.
I feel like we should just get rid of the bear, some way or another.
If you're that worried about it.
I mean, sure, why not? Here, I have a fun new way I can do this now. So the bear's just sleeping, it's just in, like, the center of the cave, right? Nothing special.
Up against one of the walls, yeah. Kind of towards the back.
Okay. Oh, this is kind of mean, but I'm gonna cast Hunger of Hadar on him.
Alright, let me look up bear real quick.
I think of bears. Let's see our one mob.
Alright, so you open a gateway to the dark between the stars, a region infested with unknown horrors. Spear of blackness and bitter cold appeared, their center on the point of the void filled with a cacophony of soft whispers, slurping noise. Okay, is this a porno? I mean, I'm a little confused.
That's a little creepy there, buddy.
Yeah, slurping noises, that threw me off, I'm sorry. That can be heard for up to 30 feet away. No light, magical or otherwise, can illuminate the area. The creatures fully within the area are blinded while it's already sleeping. The void creates a warp in the fabric of space. The area is difficult terrain. Any creature that starts its turn takes 2d6 cold damage. Any creature that ends its turn must make a dex save or take damage as milky, otherworldly tentacles rub against it. Seriously, is this a fucking porno? Who wrote this spell?
The PHB?
That's, yeah. Alright, so, let's see here. What's the health look like on this bear? I mean, he's hardy as a dire wolf.
I think I got like something like 30 some odd HP.
So, roll me 2d6 as you create this spear of darkness. And you hear all these whispers and a cacophony of whispers spilling out and cold blackness just spilling over this bear as he takes 6 points of damage. And with that, you wake the bear up and it becomes alert of your presence, and this cacophony of ugly noises going on around it. Any creature that ends its turn in the area must succeed a dex save. So we'll go ahead and roll that. Why, dude? I don't get it. The bear did nothing to you. It rolls a 5, so give me 2d6 acid damage.
I'd like to give the Murder Hobo of the Session Award to Apollo.
Alright. And with that, the bear will come trekking towards you. So, let's see. If he's moving away from it, does he do anything to him? It's difficult terrain. Other than
he has to stand up first, right? Because he was prone, sleeping.
Well,
I move away from Apollo.
This bear is going to just charge after Apollo. I'm just going to let him stand up for free. Screw that noise. You woke this bear up. He is angry. He has a movement speed of 40, so technically he could stand up and go 20 feet and just start biting at Apollo. So this giant bear comes rippling out of your attack, getting out of your difficult terrain, and just barreled towards you. And he will make one of its bite attacks and one claw attack as he reaches out and tries to snag at you. 17 hit?
Here, wait. 1 second. Yeah, that'll hit.
Yes or no? I need an answer. Straight.
Yes.
Okay, take this.
Yes. Sometimes.
The bear does not like being waken up. You take 11 points of slashing damage.
Just slurping noises.
The slurping noises is what woke it straight up to where it didn't need to stand.
Oh, Lord.
And it was being rubbed.
Alright, so with that, it is your turn, Apollo, unless anybody else wants... Unless I need to roll initiative. Anybody helping him?
This is Apollo's fight. The bear was fine. There was no need to kill it. He pissed it off. Like, I'll clean up what's left, but...
I was having it before this started, and I'm just going to wait until he gets hit.
Alright, so...
Oh, that's beautiful. Let's see.
I'm kind of curious if there's anything Lindsay can do just to kind of show off other aspects.
I'm gonna cast Dissonant Whispers at 2nd level. Does it not?
Sorry, I was reading something. Is it gonna roll me something there, or is it broken?
So that's... I think it's broken. That's weird. Let me try re-putting in the Compodium.
Alright.
Compodium?
Compendium? Compadudi?
He said...
I know.
He said Compodium.
I guess it's broken. I don't know. But it's... Let's see.
Alright, we're gonna do that, chat.
So it's gonna take 46 psychic damage, but it needs to make a what is it? A whiz save? Yeah, whiz save.
18, I do believe it will save. So what does it do?
Yeah, then it just takes half of 46.
So roll me 4d6 real quick. Honestly, I don't think Lindsay should help, but I kind of want to display one of the abilities of her violin. So that'll be a total of 9. Alright, so with that, basically I'm going to move you up here. You're face to face with this bear. Do you want to move away from it?
No.
Do you have like some manhood to prove or anything? I mean, I just find this a little out of
Nope.
reach, I guess. Lindsay will approach, and she will pull out her violin, do a chord, and the bear will make a DC dex save real quick. The emblem of Kazia now shines brightly on her violin as a giant breeze of energy just ignites in front of the bear, pushing it 10 feet away from you.
Is that back in the... Actually, I know. I
yeah,
need to roll my
technically
concentration. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I need to roll my concentration.
Roll your concentration, and then, yeah, Lindsay kind of helped you there. If it went back in.
I forgot. Constitution is just, or it's a Constitution roll, right?
How much? You took 11, so you got to get a 10. So roll Constitution. 10's your DC. Yeah, I'm good.
Constitution save.
So is it pushed back into the spear?
Yes.
Came from the spear.
He will not end his turn in the spear, so therefore he won't take the damage until the end of his next turn, but he did get pushed back into it. So I believe if he moves out of it by the next turn, so at the end of his next turn he can still get out of it. So with that, the bear will do just that. He'll waste his movement to get back to you. Confused.
If it starts, doesn't it take the 2d6 though?
Yeah, if it starts its turn and ends on its turn, it must take damage.
So give me the starting turn, and was that a saving throw in that?
So, let me see.
Go ahead and post it
I think
again.
it starts just straight damage.
If he ends his turn, he has to make a save, or else he takes the.
Yeah, he got pushed back into it. However, he started his turn in it. He did not end it. So he's going to make his way out of it before he even has a turn to end. Like, his turn's not going to end with him in it.
No, didn't his turn start with him in it?
It started, but he
So
already
yeah,
took
there's 2d6 cold.
Any creature that starts its turn in the area takes 2d6 cold damage.
So give me the cold damage.
That's what I was trying to figure out.
So these slurping noises and tentacles just start rippling around this bear, and the bear's like, what's this? And Lindsay just lowers her violins, like shaking her head no, and walks away.
Yeah,
She's,
if you could never make that sound again.
you're welcome.
I'll have nightmares
Hey,
now.
it's in the freaking description, so I'm just trying to, roleplay this, I just thought I'd do a little voice acting. Because somebody decided I needed to know how did that sound. Alright, so Apollo, you got, or actually it's the bear's turn, right? So he charged out of there, and he's barely on his last leg. You know what, though? I'm going to give this bear rage of sorts. So he's going to get advantage on all these attacks because 1, you woke him out of a deep slumber. 2, he is hella pissed. 3, he's fighting for his life. So he's going to take advantage as if he was in a reckless rage.
Oh, that's fine.
19 and a 21. Does that hit? Actually, that would have been fine.
Alright, well... Oh, man, I love cutting words.
Yeah, go ahead. Which one you want to cut? You only get one.
Let's see. Actually, screw it. I'll take both. Why not? I'll take both.
23 points of damage as he comes down mauling at you and then slices his claw against you, just trying to finish you off. He notices your other friends, but you're the immediate threat, so he's going to stay focused on you. What would you like to do?
Let's see, and let's roll that concentration.
Yep. Roll it for me twice, but that will fail. So you're...
Oh, I want the slurpy noises.
Yep. It's faded away into the ethereal plane or abyss or wherever it came.
Wherever it
Void,
came from.
where it belongs.
Yeah. Well, just recast the spell. We'll do it again.
That's a...
Apparently burped it out like my SMR there.
Why not? I'm gonna set it back to where he's just within it.
Roll me code, damn it. And with that, the bear gets suckled on and tentacle lashed, and then all kinds
Christ.
of... And the bear falls over dead.
Oh man, those. Oh god, I'm so happy I have that spell.
Lindsay's
Like just for the RP purposes of it.
Yeah, and
There
Lindsay's
is no RP purposes there.
Lindsay's just got her hand on her forehead, and she's like, I think I regret helping him. Kind of look to her face. But other than that, the bear is dead. Your little slurpy tentacle space thingy is still hanging around. Do you wish to dispel that now?
Nope.
And it's gonna sit there for how long? Concentration for how
Another
long?
minute. Another minute.
Yeah, a minute will pass and it'll dissipate. But yeah, the bear corpse is now there to do things that
slurped
your
on.
tentacle things did not do to it.
Coolio.
Bestial tentacle porn. Yay.
Is Apollo going to watch that?
Oh no. Well, Apollo's got front row seats, it looks like.
Hell, Apollo's the one that started it.
Alright, so let's expedite this, please. What are we doing?
Yes, please.
What are we doing with this bear corpse so we can move on with our day?
Sounds like nothing. So let's hang
do
out
it.
for 2
Can
days.
I get a survival? If you're gonna cut this thing up, or are you gonna just leave it to die?
It's
Anyone want to help me with it?
Yeah, I'll give you a hand.
Good.
Mine
You
is
tear
ruined
it up.
anyway.
You rip the pelt. You rip the meat. You get maybe one big chunk of bear meat, and that's all you manage to get.
Those
Apparently,
tentacles are really nasty, man.
yeah. Apparently, the tentacles lashed out and tore most of the pelt off this poor innocent bear, who was just looking for a place to sleep, like the rest of you. He probably would have been happy sharing his cave. But by all means, let's go ahead and carve him up. So yeah, just mark off a big hunk of bear meat. That's all you get from him. With that, you guys now have the whole cavern to yourselves now. I mean, that's a good thing.
No telling what that bear would have done.
Slept?
I know, he might be snoring so loudly we couldn't sleep.
Might have get exhausted.
Probably less worse than what happened to it.
Oh, mercy. So, with that, what is Dancing Lights going to do to pass the time now? That's what we need to really... Because I want to try to get us at least up to the caravan before we call it.
I'm going to spend most of the time getting water breathing and unseen servant down in the book.
Alright. Anything special from anybody else?
I'm going to spend some time with Lindsay trying to learn signs.
Alright. What about Leo? What's Leo doing?
Nothing. Just waiting.
I asked for Borden. Do you want any checks to start whittling out dice from the bone, more or less?
Who were you asking what? Apparently somebody didn't hear it.
I said for Borden, do you want checks on those dice, making them or anything?
What are you Oh, the dice. Oh, yeah. Okay, that...
Yeah,
threw
the
me.
knuckle bone dice.
I thought you were talking to somebody and I wasn't sure. But no, it was me. Oh, my bad. Yeah, make survival if you're going to start carving into them.
I am on point with these 22 survivals.
You managed to
The
make...
third one today.
You managed to make them perfectly how you see fit for dice. So there you go. Each and every knuckle that you would need. I guess you would have a total of...
8 times 4 is 32.
Yeah, about 32
And that's
square
assuming
feet.
only one usable knuckle per finger.
Yeah, we'll go with that. 32 seems like an awful large number, but that was a good roll. So I'll give it to you.
Alright, now everyone get your paper out. We're going to start rolling characters. Hijack the campaign to play D&D and D&D.
Oh, Inception, D&D. Alright, Grog, let's not do that. So... Lindsay and Sarah, they're going to be working on signs. Leo and the Fox are going to just be spending quality time together, waiting it out. Oscar's got his ritual book. Borden spent most of his time making these dice. What's Apollo doing? Besides gleefully dancing in bear blood and into his
I am not
tentacles.
sharing a tent with him because I'm not going to listen to what he does at night. We have 4 tents. We have,
Oh,
if you
Lord.
include the Fox, 6 people. 2 of us can have our own tent.
Are we putting these tents up inside these tiny huts?
Inside the cave.
Are you doing tiny hut at all? I guess I should ask, because I don't know what you're doing. This is the part where Oscar needs to chime in, and then you guys need to ask what you want him to do.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm waiting for you guys to tell me every detail that I need to know to continue the day.
Do you want me to put up a tiny hut in the cave?
Let's wait for that for tonight.
He can cast it any
I
time
guess
he
the
wants, as long as he has 10 minutes.
Alright, then why not? Go ahead.
I mean,
Okay,
technically, you could keep a rotation of tiny huts. This is why
Yeah.
I can't play. I can't play, guys. Come on. I can't play. You gotta come up with this stuff. I'll never find a DM. Anyway.
Okay, I'll start the ritual cast.
Alright. And you'll still have plenty of time to work on your spells. You got 8 hours between every recast, so it's no big deal.
By the way, we said 10 minutes when I was running.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually 1 minute.
No, it's still a ritual cast is 10 minutes. It's casting time if you were
Okay.
just casting it 1 minute.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, if you were able to instant cast it, it would still take you 1 minute. This is one of those spells that takes a little bit of time.
Hey, Star. I'm gonna ritual cast a new spell I learned. It's called Rope Trick.
Alright?
So I get
Whoa.
I get rope, that my character has, and he. Well, here I just put the card in.
Yeah, put the
Make it
card
easy.
in. You touch a length of rope that is 60 feet long, one end of the rope, and then rises into the air. The whole rope hangs perpendicular to the ground. At the upper end of the rope, an invisible entrance to an extra dimensional space that lasts until the spell ends, which is what?
1 hour.
1 hour. So you got a hidden odd house up there. The extra dimensional space can be reached by climbing to the top of the rope, which I will make you make a strength check to get up. That'll be fun. The space can hold as many as 8 medium or small creatures. The rope can be pulled into the space, making the rope disappear from view. Attack and spells can't cross through the entrance. Okay, so yeah, this is just a tiny hut that only lasts for an hour in a way. So you cast rope check. What are you doing with your rope?
So, it doesn't say anything about where it, if you can move it around. It just says that it has.
It stays
dimension at the top
perpendicular
of
to the ground to where you put it.
Mm.
Yeah, wherever you
So-
put it, that's where the door is going to be up top.
So,
you can't move it.
as long as it stays perpendicular.
Yeah.
Okay, then why
You-
can't I pull the rope down and have it still be perpendicular?
I'm just saying that wherever you put the rope, you can pull the rope up once you get to the extra dimensional space, and then make it to where nobody can get to you. However, you cannot move the you can't move the rope like you're moving the door with it like a balloon. That's all I'm saying. Now
That'd
quit
be a funny balloon.
quit giving me crazy crap now. Like, you really didn't need to do this, but you have a ritual cast, so you took the 10 minutes to do this,
Mm-hmm.
and you're able to climb up
Okay.
this rope and go into this extra dimensional space for an hour.
And Apollo was just wondering, what's this extra dimensional space like, because he's sort of just curious about it.
No, that's a good question. What is it? Let's see. Opens to an extra. All you know is
It's
it
not
opens
slurping
into-
noises.
No slurping noises in here. Space can hold as many as 8 people, so there's room for friends if you want it. And other than that, I mean, it's just this empty room of nothing. I mean, you find yourself lost that you can actually do this, so there you go.
There's enough no here with that. Yeah, I was there. I am not going up there.
You know, rope trick would probably be a good way to get out of a sticky situation for a quick hot moment, but other than that, like, you know, using it for refuge for longer than an hour. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's calm it down, guys. So let's get back to the serious part of everything. Anything else you want to do before I move on to expediting the day?
I think we can expedite. I don't think there are any serious.
Yeah. Let's
Things to do.
let's not pull a Saturday, okay? Jeez. But anyway, so nighttime starts to fall. It gets late. We can go ahead and start watches if you want, but I'm just keeping it general to where I assume, correct me if I'm wrong, that as soon as the tiny hut disappears, you recast another one to take its place, and
Yes.
tents are being placed inside the tiny hut to protect everybody.
Well, the hut's comfortable itself. I got the tents in case we couldn't find a cave
All right,
and
gotcha.
didn't want to risk, the shit from the road.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's fine. All right. So yeah, let's get a watch order, and then we'll go from there. Who's on first?
Elder first.
I'll take last.
Who's on second?
I'll go second.
Why isn't Leo doing anything?
Is Leo dead?
No, he's just sleeping. Do you guys want me to take watch? Otherwise, I was just planning to sleep.
Well, I was just saying, these same three people were on watch the night before. If that's the order, that's the order. I'm just saying, in a way, that's kind of unfair to the others, but whatever. So, Boarded, you're up first. You peer out the cave and keep watch, while the rest of your crew stays inside the safety of the tiny hut. Go ahead and roll me perception.
Better than last time.
Yeah, and you notice the snow drifting down is coming down in flurries. The night itself has like a fresh, clean air smell to it. But other than that, there is no obvious threats. It would seem like anything that could possibly pose a threat has been dealt with in every
Cool.
which way. Your watch comes to an end peacefully.
Next.
I think I said I was second.
Yeah, so Oscar, you're now up. You cannot leave your hut. So make a perception check at disadvantage. There's a bit of pause to the sleeping habits of Lindsay as she kind of grows wide-eyed in the night. She pops up. She looks around. Her breath is kind of heavy. She's kind of sweaty. But she quickly tries to shrink down and go back to bed. Other than that, there's nothing of any particular that catches your eye because that was such a poor roll. But that was like right next to you, so it's kind of hard to miss that.
Okay, I'm going to wake up Sarah.
Alright, Sarah. Go ahead and make me a perception check. And with that, the final watch kind of closes down. The cavern seems to have provided you ample protection and doesn't seem like they're coming out in full force or wasting any resources to try to chase you down. So that's probably a good sign. You all managed to have a full night's rest, and I will attempt to kill you again tomorrow, or today. So, this day is actually the day that they're going to be heading out. So the night before, if you don't mind me doing a little cutscene here, if you were in town, you would have seen this. And well, I guess I'll just leave it blank. Never mind. I'll just leave it alone. We'll see if you guys notice this as you try to find the caravan. So, as far as you know,
Isn't it's not there?
as in, you're not there to see it, so there's no point in really going into it. So it's just basically you guys weren't in the location that I was hoping you would be, because I did write a nice little scripted thing, but you're here, so here we go. But the caravan was set to start their movements at around noon. So it is about 7 in the morning. What is the plan until like whatever time you want to start looking for that caravan?
We told we would meet the caravan 3 miles north of the city at noon. So we'll just wait till like 11 and then we'll go ahead and go 3 miles north of the city.
Alright, is that everybody's general idea? With that, I'll
Yes.
have everybody take off a mark of rations. Welcome back. And so go ahead and mark rations off. And somebody offer a ration to Lindsay if you don't mind. And
As fun as it would be to feed her nothing but strawberry crepes for, the next week,
oh,
I think
sure,
that'd make her sick.
but she'll gladly take one for breakfast. But yeah, and just make it. Let's just do a general perception check as everybody's just kind of looking around.
Good.
Hello?
Yes, we're here.
Yes.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I had to unplug my mic. It's the only way I can quickly mute myself.
Unless you're going out again, Star.
Yeah, probably not all the way in. Hold on. How about that? Better?
Sure.
Sure. Alright.
Yeah.
Alright, so with the perception checks, Paulo, you notice Lindsay's grimace early morning. Like, she's not looking normal. She's very pale face, baggy eyes, starting to look a little ragged, but, she seems to be doing alright as long as you keep her fed and everything. And she's like, just keeping along with everybody as best she can. But with that, you guys spend most of the morning just kind of waiting this out. Move out to the road and start trekking up till you're about 3 miles north of the town. Noon rolls around, nothing right away. About 12:30 or so, you see about 3 or 4 wagons coming up north. And you see a familiar face on the front wagon. You see Frederick, and he kind of, whoa, hey, you guys are here, that's good. Weren't sure if we were going to see you since you guys didn't show back up in town. You guys doing
Yeah,
alright?
Decided to do a spot of hunting.
Oh, these must be your other friends you were telling us about.
Yes, they are. We ran into each other.
That's great. Well then, that's more the merrier. So, you guys ready to jump in and help?
Either way.
Sure.
All right, and he's
Um,
gonna.
What's
Yeah.
the situation in town? What was the situation in town when you left?
Well, they called off all the guards. We weren't going to waste, or they weren't going to waste any further resources on some runaway mage who hasn't done any murdering. I mean, if you would have killed somebody, it'd probably been different, but thankfully you didn't. But here, and he hands the reins off to one of his friends that are right up there. Hold on to these. I'll go ahead and get them into the other wagon. But for safety's sakes, I would advise we put your magic users in the other wagon that's behind us. And you see the second wagon is like a canvassed wagon. Definitely see like general supplies, like making an outline around and leaving like an open space. If you were to like pull off a few things, you can see this open space where there's 3 young children, around 13 to 15, from what you can estimate just looking in. And from the front of that wagon, this woman dressed in white direwolf fur, similar to yours, she jumps down, black hair, hazel eyes, and just kind of stares at you. So these are the guys who are going to come and help us then, huh? Yeah, we told you about these guys, Acelia. Is that okay? Alright, as long as they can help us clear the way and I can get these children out of here. That's all I care about.
So there are 3 kids?
Yes. So, one of them's a user, right? Go ahead and get in the wagon. We'll put these goods around you so that nobody can spot you.
So we'll give Oscar 3 of the grapes to hand out to the children.
Oh, nice. The children kind of look up, and just to give you a general idea of who you're dealing with here, let me get to that note. One of these pages is the note that I'm looking for. That's not the one. Alright. Let's see here. You see 2 girls and 1 boy. And one of them is a cold, black hair and dark eyed girl, kind of gothic. And every now and then, as you get close to her, handing her the creep, you can feel this cold energy that's kind of emanating from her. The young boy, he has blonde hair, gloved hands, and the boy has like a marking around his neck, as if there was someone attempting to hang him. The other girl, she seems to be in tune with lightning, and she's startled at first by your approach with the creep, and this static shock just kind of bolts you for a moment, but it's nothing serious. She has like hazel blue eyes. Her eyes kind of light. They're hazel now, but like if she starts to give off static electricity or anything like that, they seem to glow like a soft blue as they go. But Azalea just kind of notices you being nice to the children, and she says, "It's very nice of you, sir. A follower of Kazi, I see."
I.
Oh, that was to Borden. Oh yeah, and she looks to Leo and notice, like, you have a noticeable emblem of Illumina, right?
Yeah, probably. On a necklace around my neck.
Alright, so she approaches you and says, "Huh, fellow worshipper of Illumina, I see. My name is Azalea. I'm a priestess of the Light Goddess, and I'm here to rescue these children from a certain fate that I'm sure you're all aware of." And this guy up front who's managing that wagon's like, "Azalea, are you about done? It's time to go." And up there at the front of the wagon, another young boy with black hair kind of peers over the corner to see what's going on. And she says, "I'll be there in a minute, Red. Just keep an eye on Christian and we'll get out of here. So go ahead and put your magic user in the back, and we'll just keep you guys hidden away. And there'll be room to like join the transport wagon in the further back wagon, so the rest of you can like travel along in the back wagon to make this trek up towards the mountains."
Sure thing, I move towards the back.
Alright, so, you guys kind of pile into the back, and it's like a traveling wagon back here, and there's a few people who are kind of just traveling along, and, just basic leisure here. Sit down on the bench, kind of stare at each other. It's like an open carriage. And, let's see. Anything else you guys want to do other than hiding Oscar in the other carriage?
Oscar is going to be separate from us.
Yeah, he's going to be separate because he has to be with the children. Do you think you need to be there too?
Uh,
Need an answer.
will
Yeah, you're a little soft there too. You kind of faded out a little. So all right. So you're gonna stay with the others, right? So Oscar, you're kind of by yourself with these three children, and it's a little dark. And then as soon as the canvases are dropped down, you can see like the boy. He kind of lets off a little flame from his fingers just to kind of light the area so he can see. And you have these three children who are kind of chewing on the creeps that he got from Borden, and you can open up a conversation with them at any time. Just let me know.
How thick is the canvas?
Well, it's covering the entire carriage, like a canvas.
If it's thick enough where light's not gonna just shine right through, I'm going to use dancing lights to kind of illuminate the area.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. So you do dancing lights, and he's like, "Oh, that's an interesting spell," and he'll put his flame out. Hi.
Hey.
The two girls are kind of shy. They don't know what to say, but the boy's kind of impressed with your dancing lights, and he just tells you, "My name's Alexander. Who are you?"
My name's Oscar.
Oscar, nice to meet you. You from around here? Or you don't look like you are.
No, I'm from Corinthia.
Oh wow, that's a wonderful place from what I heard. If I read correctly, maybe I'll get to visit it sometime. And the black-haired girl kind of whispers over, "Alexander, just be quiet. I can't take this anymore. Just shut up." But the other the other girl is just kind of being quiet to herself. She's definitely not interested in interacting with anybody. But as this trip begins, everybody else kind of piles into the other carriage, and everybody starts making their way up north. For the most part, you guys continue to approach like a steep or a steeping incline that leads into the mountains, as the horse and the carriages are starting to go up the side of the mountains and start making their way up until the weather starts to get a little bit more crazy, a little bit more deeper. And as we're making the approach to this location, I say this would be a good time to go ahead and call the session for today. How's that sound? Yeah.
Fine by me.
All right, and then we'll pick up from this point next week, and hopefully you can make it to Miscus by next session. Yeah. So with that, we're gonna go ahead and get ready to close down. However, I did promise a raffle, and I do have a game that I'm willing to give away. So let's see which one of my two viewers gets it. Those to give away. Pick a winner. Oh, hey, Imberg, it looks like you win. So I'll go ahead and get you a key to that. I never played the game, but when I looked at Steam, I didn't think I'd be interested in it. However, I will go ahead and offer that up to you, friend. I appreciate you coming out and watching the show with us and getting along with all the shenanigans. You're welcome to join our Discord. You don't have to talk to us, but you can type and chat if you feel like it. Totally get the whole thing. But yeah, other than that, Wednesday's session has been canceled, but I will do a world building session where I will contemplate 101 ways to kill my Saturday morning cartoon show. So help me cancel that by joining me Wednesday as we go and create NPCs to throw at that group of cluster, whatever that mess was. I don't know.
Yeah,
But,
that is a Charlie Foxtrot of epic portion.
Yes, it sure was. But we'll be joining the Tynet Kingdom the week after, and we will have our Saturday morning special. During the week, whenever I have time, I can't figure out when exactly I'm going to start the streams, but if you're following me and you see me start streaming, feel free to drop in and hang out, just chill. I read chat while playing variety games, Warframe, Diablo 3, Dragon's Dogma Online, just whatever we have. And sometimes I'll run with some of the crew here, or I'll just go solo. So come in, request a song, chill, relax. You're more than welcome to come in for that. Otherwise, just keep tuning in for the campaigns. They will be archived on YouTube shortly after, and I'll get that key to you in a whisper here in a minute, named Burke. But other than that, anybody want to say goodbye to chat?
Bye, chat.
See ya.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Night night, guys.
Bye.
All right, and you guys have a good night, and please erase that freaking dick.